Hello and welcome, FPL managers. Welcome to Ghana Football Fantasy. And of course, we are back for game week 6, right? Not game week 5. I don't know why when I was practicing this, it just came out like game week 5, and then Parvez had to say like, hey, it's not game week 5. But I know game week 5 le pore resource. Yes, game week 6. Anyway, so I said it correct. It's game week 6 and we are live. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for all the support and thank you so much for joining us. And of course, for this pod, before I introduce the two musketeers out there in the screen, most of the people know you anyway. But before I introduce yourself, let me just thank Sadman Rahman for the music. And of course, Rafshan Ahmed for the wonderful animation for our introduction. But yeah, tonight we have Saif and we have Ashfaq who's joining us. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. And of course, good to see you, Ashfaq, and good to see you, Saif.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be back, bhai.
And may
Yeah,
I just say that this has been a really busy transfer week with some surprising transfers as well. And Nadim Bhai is especially, I think, excited about the Aubameyang transfer. You can get that by his choice of uniform.
yeah. So true, Ashfaq. So true. The man who gave me how many points against Norwich in game week 32. I think this was the COVID season. যখন ওই যে কোভিডের জন্য খেলা বন্ধ হয়ে গেছিল আর কি, তারপর যখন
Right.
আবার সিজন স্টার্ট করলো।
One of those weeks that our captains and transfers matched.
Yeah, one of the weeks, of course.
One of the
Of
weeks.
course. So yeah, FPL managers, if you have lots of questions, I know, কালকে থেকে deadline, and I know you have lots of questions, and you will have lots of questions. But let me just say what is going to be in this content today. We're going to have hot topics. Hot topics এর মধ্যে some key questions আছে যেগুলো we'll discuss. Of course, wildcard is part of it, and then we are going to talk about the captaincy. Yeah, and then we're going to go into your questions. Now, if you want your questions to be answered, send your questions by 11:30. 11:30 আগে questions পাঠিয়ে দিন। যত রাতি হোক আমরা definitely সেই questions গুলোকে answer করব। So please send, if you want your questions to be answered, please send it before 11:30. The ticker says it, we are saying it repeatedly. I don't want to make anybody feel sad about the fact আরে আসলাম এতক্ষণ ধরে ভিডিও দেখলাম আমার কমেন্টটা রিসিভই করলো না। না, we will definitely receive your comment via if you only send it before 11:30. So please do. Right. So let's start, guys. Let's start. And this is, of course, everybody knows, this is Footalochona, the FPL Ghana show, Game Week 6. And of course, if you haven't followed or liked or subscribed, please do invite your friends. This channel is slowly becoming bigger and bigger, and it's growing, and people are noticing, and I like that. And I want to really thank every one of you for all the support you have given us over the last 2 years. This is our 3rd season. So yeah, we're happy growing the way we expected it to grow. So thank you so much. Right. Okay. So hot topic. First thing first, midweek, Champions League is back. So is Europa League. I know some people are looking at us, but it's okay. We are going to win the Europa League this year, inshallah. And some people are definitely not winning the Champions League, that's for sure. Just to be rest assuring, there is rotations, yeah. There is rotations, and there is, of course, Haaland risk and this and that and Perisic and the neonic rotation of it. But just to give you an idea how the rotation is going to look like and possibly how congested the fixtures are, I'll come to you, Saif, to discuss this rotation risk during game week 6 and 8. Over to you, Saif.
Thank you, Nadim bhai. As we have been mentioning in the previous part too, that the rotation season is here. We have a midweek game week going on, just finished yesterday, and the next game week is starting from tomorrow. So only 1 day gap between the game weeks, and then there is the European season are beginning here. So Champions League is back, Europa League is back from the next midweek. So all the top 6 plus West Ham all will have midweek fixtures at least till the next international break, or at least I think at least till the next World Cup break. So there will be huge rotation. So we are focusing on game week 6 to 8. You can see clearly from the chart that the red fixtures are where the rest period is only 3 to 4 days. 3 days or two. In some cases, in case of Chelsea, you can see that they play West Ham on the 4th, and then the Champions League is on the 6th. So they only have 1 day of training or 1 day of rest between the fixtures. So there will be huge rotation. Tuchel has always been known as someone who tinkers very much, and then he, if the rest period is that low, he will definitely tinker with the team, and they have brought in a lot of players. So there will be integrating them, and then there will be huge rotation also. So as we can see, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs, Arsenal. I think for in case of Arsenal, Manu, the rotation will be a bit less in the league because I think they will prioritize the league over the Europa League, and definitely I think they will have it easy in the Europa League group fixtures. When the knockouts come, then I think they will rotate a bit heavily. But for now, I think they will play their strongest sides in the leagues, and then they will have their second 11 in the Europa League fixtures. And it's a different form.
Saif, are you there?
Lightning outside. So,
Yeah, he's there. Right. No, Saif,
it's,
suddenly there
it's
was a noise, so we lost you for a second. We lost you
yeah.
for 3 seconds. Yeah.
There was huge lightning outside,
Okay.
so there was that. So as I was saying, it's different for West Ham because I think they will try to prioritize Europa over league. They also haven't started the league that well. So anyway, we don't have any West Ham player in our team. TV of weather. Sorry. So I think the
No worries. No worries.
major rotation concern should be around Man City players. So as Pep is always been known for rotation, and that's the term Pep roulette. So he will definitely rotate. So the question mainly for all of us is, will Haaland start in the next game week? I personally believe he will start. He will come off around 60 or to 50 minutes mark, I think. But I think he'll definitely start because he was taken off after 60 minutes. So if you want to captain him, I think you can go ahead and captain him. For Liverpool, I think they will always try to play their strongest players, or at least the players we pick in FPL. Their rotation is only concentrated towards the midfield. We don't pick them anyway. And for Chelsea, I think James and Cucurella will be rotated in some of the league matches. So Fulham might be a match where they will rotate him because James have missed the last match. I think he will come back against West Ham and play the Champions League fixture. I think he might be rotated against Fulham. From his parts also, they have a lot of wing backs, so wing backs is a concern. I don't think Perisic will start against Fulham. Then Arsenal, Man U, as I said, I think they will play their strongest fixture. Also, they're facing each other, so I think it's a huge game for them. They have started the season well. They will want to keep that momentum. So I think there is rotation concern. There is no little rotation concern for them. And then there is Champ. So this is the time of the season. I think we should prioritize good players from the lesser teams or the mid-table teams. So the likes of Leicester, Brighton, Newcastle, etc. come in play here. Also, there is William Zaha. They don't have any midweek fixtures due to they not committed in not having European involvement. So they have rest period. So they will always play their best 11 in the league fixtures. So we can target some of the players from them. So I think we will now talk about the players to target. Over to Nadimbi.
Right. Thanks. I think let's just go back to the previous slide then, which is of course the hot topic. So yeah, thanks. I think that gives us a very much clarity. But আমার মনে হয় যেহেতু আমরা এতক্ষণ ধরে টিম নিয়ে কথা বলছি, so what we are going to do is like সবচেয়ে বড় কনসার্ন এখন যদি প্লেয়ারে আসি, সবার আগে মাথা ব্যথা হলো রড্রিগো, ঠিক আছে? So Ashfaq, over to you. Who's the best replacement for Rodrigo?
Right. So Rodrigo was a hot transfer for the last 2 weeks because of his previous games form. But the thing with Rodrigo is, as we all know, that he has a dislocated shoulder, which means he will have a around 4 week recovery time, which means there is a very good chance he might not be back this month. He might be back in October. Another thing that's not going for Rodrigo is that Bamford is back, which means there was also a good chance that Rodrigo might have his minutes managed or could have been replaced from the first 11 altogether. Either way, one of your priority transfers out this week or the week after should be Rodrigo because of his injury issue. Regarding replacements of Rodrigo, I think the most obvious choice right now would be Gross. Um, Before this game, there was a very good debate about whether to go for Gross or Rodrigo because both had very similar stats. Um, the advantage of Gross is he still has very good fixtures for the next 3 game weeks. Brighton, I think, plays. One second. Brighton plays Leicester, Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace. So those are, in theory, very very easy fixtures to go with. And Gross is also on partially on set pieces as well. So I think he will still, bag us some points if you want to go for Gross. My next option would be, if you don't have him, uh, bring him in, is Martinelli. Martinelli, after his initial first 2 games where he scored and assisted, there were many people who were not convinced on Martinelli. But again, last game he showed what a great threat he was, and like we discussed in 2-3 pods earlier, that he's basically an 8 million midfielder rolled into a 6 million package. So if you don't have him, I think Martinelli still has the fixtures to do some damage. My third option for a replacement would be a bit differential one, would be Gibbs White. It's because Nottingham Forest has a fixture turn at the moment, and Gibbs White essentially plays as a forward in a 5-3-2 formation for Nottingham. Although he has not scored or assisted in this season, still I think Gibbs White is still a relatively good threat, and he still might do some good damage because of his placement. And he's also just 5.5, so he's very nicely priced, so that could be a very good differential for you. So please keep an eye on Gibbs White.
Okay. Is that it, Ashfaq?
Was I too long? I don't think so. I took lesser than
No,
Saif
no,
Bhai.
it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was pretty short. It was pretty precise. So I was a bit surprised that he
Right, so as
was.
usual Saif Bhai took a lot of time, so I had to improvise.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's blame it on Saif right now. It's good. Okay, let's do one thing. I mean, you talk about Morgan Gibbs White, right? Okay, that's interesting. So I'll spill the beans here. He's a player I'm definitely thinking the most when it comes to Rodrigo exchange. Morgan Gibbs White. That's just my way of playing it, and I think he did enough in 2 games that I saw. দুইটা গেমই আমি তাকে অবজার্ভ করছি, and I think he did 2 games enough to suggest that he's a really good option. So yeah, some people who are actually looking for Rodrigo replacement and want to really have a Rodrigo effect, Rodrigo যারা নিছিল তারা সবাই অনেক পয়েন্ট পাইছে, সেরকম এফেক্ট আমার মনে হয় the next player who's going to do is probably Morgan Gibbs White. But yeah, I might be totally wrong, but at least I'm doing the move, that one. I'm really doing that move. That's what my think is. Anyway, let's talk about wild card, কারণ অনেকে wild card খেলতে পারে এই গেমিকে, ঠিক আছে? এখন থেকে আগামী 4টা গেমিকের মধ্যে যে কোনো হয়তো বা অনেকে wild card খেলতে পারে. So if that is the case, then let's do one thing. Let's discuss the wild card, কারণ এই সপ্তাহে যদি খেলে, then I think who are the good options and who are not the good options. Let's have a look at it. Yeah. So over to you, Saif, for teams to target and teams to avoid, and then Ashfaq will take it over for players to target. Yeah.
As I was saying during my rotation discussion, we should now target the mid-table teams like Newcastle, Brighton. They have started the season really well. They have a very strong squad and good coach, I think. So they will, I think, finish around 7th to 8th. I think just behind the top 6. So they have some good players to target. Then there is Leeds. They have started the season also very well. Fulham also started pretty well. I don't think anybody expected them to start that well, and I think Mitrovic has been showing great form. Then Crystal Palace has also been playing well, and Nottingham Forest now have some good fixtures. They have some pretty difficult fixtures over the start of the season, but now they have some good fixtures to target. So I think Newcastle and Brighton are the key mid-table teams to target. Then Leeds and Fulham, their attacking players should be targeted. Then from Crystal Palace, I think William Zaha is a very good option. And from Nottingham Forest, I think they have shown that they are not afraid to attack any team. They have also attacked Man City, but they conceded 6 goals. But anyway, they did not back down or they do not sit back or park the bus. So I think they will do well against the teams around them in the table. So I think we can have someone like Nick Williams who has been playing much higher up front from his right wing back or right back position. So he can be a very good option. And also, if their new signings gel, then we will have some players like Gibbs White or Brennan Johnson to target. And now avoid, I think the teams who have started the season pretty badly, like Leicester and West Ham, also have not been convincing yet. Everton are a team, they also Gordon and Gray, I think, can be good pick, but in general, I think they can be avoided. Also, their immediate fixtures are very tough. They have a Merseyside derby in this game week, and then I think they are playing Tottenham or someone from the top six. I have seen that. And Steven Gerrard has been having a pretty hard time at Aston Villa, so they are also having a pretty difficult start to the season. And Bournemouth, they sacked Scott Parker, so they are now without a coach. They have not recruited enough well, and I think they have a championship quality squad, and that has been shown in their performances so far. So, whoever might be brought in as their coach, I don't think they will finish any higher than 20th in the table. So they should be a team to target in terms of bringing in players who are playing them, not bringing players from Bournemouth. So that's it, and so that's all about the teams to target or avoid.
Right. Thanks. Somebody just mentioned about Mitrovic, and last week I asked the person who's going to talk about players right now about Mitrovic, and he said he's a fixture guy. And he said, yeah, Mitrovic is not the kind of person I would go for right now. So, yeah. And then Mitrovic scores again. Okay. So, Ashfaq, I had a good introduction for you. Over to you, Ashfaq, for players to target.
Right. First of all, let me make a correction here. I was not the only one who was suggesting against Mitrovic. Saibai agreed with me as well. But I
Right.
stick to
Both of
my
you.
plan that I'm still a fixtures guy. But Mitrovic is proving that he's more or less fixture proof. But I'm not really concerned about his price rise at the moment because given his pedigree and the way he's playing, even if he's priced at 7 million when I get him, I think that would be a good price for me to get him as well. So I'm not really concerned about the Mitrovic price rise. So I'm not gonna panic buy him or anything. I still have a plan I want to follow, and I'm sticking to the plan. I don't want to divert away from my plan, no matter how tempting it might be. So Mitrovic is coming in maybe after game week 7 or so. That is also the time is probably I'm gonna plan on my wild card or before. You never know. Anyway, um, so regarding players to target, the first player that we are suggesting is obviously Alexander Isaac. Alexander Isaac, I can say, has hit the ground running in the Premier League. Um, he We were a bit concerned when he was brought that whether he will have his minutes managed with Wilson, but as we can understand, Wilson is injured again, and given Wilson's fitness pedigree, I think it's safe to say Isaac will be the main starting forward for some time to come. He had a very well taken goal, and I think he had another goal disallowed as well. And to have that kind of performance against a team like Liverpool goes to show that what kind of an impact he can make against much weaker teams. So the thing with Isaac is he's known to be very not very prolific, but he's a very intelligent striker. So even when he's not scoring goals, he will create spaces. He will give the assists. So I think at 7 million, that he can be a very good investment. So if you're going for the I think three striker model and you're not considering Mitrovic, Isaac can be a very good differential option. Then our next option to target is Gibbs White. Like we mentioned earlier, that Nottingham Forest has a fixture turn from this week. They play Bournemouth as well, and Gibbs White is essentially playing as a second striker next to Johnson. So Nottingham Forest is playing a 5-3-2 formation where Gibbs is playing as the left forward. So Gibbs White with his price point, he's only 5.5. He's very lowly owned, and as a result, is a very good differential option. And Nadim Bhai like already said that he's probably moving for Gibbs White because of his positioning and because he's such a good differential. So at his price point and with Nottingham Forest fixtures, he could be a good option. My only concern is small concern is that Nottingham Forest has bought in so many players this season. They have bought in 21 or 22 players this season. I lose count. So with such a big squad, I don't really know that what kind of rotation plan the manager has going there. So that is a small concern which I have. Other than that, I think could be a good differential option. But I think you should wait 1 or 2 games before switching to him. Our third option is the Brighton left back who is coming as a replacement for Cucurella, Estupinian. So Estupinian, for the last 2 game weeks, I think his positioning and his attacking prowess has been great. He won the penalty that McAllister scored, as a result got the assist. We'll discuss more about Estupinian in detail in this pod, so you'll have an idea on what kind of impact that Estupinian might have, bec- because of this, because of his pedigree. So Brighton still has good fixtures down the line. They have Leicester, Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace. And because Brighton has had such a good start to the season, I think Estupinian could be the one to go for. He's very well priced as well. He's only 4.5, so you can't really go wrong with a 4.5 attacking defender.
Right. So a lot of managers might be thinking only this many players to target for wildcard. What about the others? যদি আদার্সকে নিয়ে চিন্তা করে থাকেন, দেন উই আর নট টেলিং ইউ টু মুভ অ্যাওয়ে ফ্রম দ্য টেমপ্লেট। গত গেম উইকেও আমরা এটা নিয়ে কথা বলেছিলাম যে those of you who are thinking of wildcarding, and I think the biggest question was টেমপ্লেট এত বেশি স্ট্রং হয়ে গেছে যে আসলে র্যাঙ্ক ইমপ্রুভ করা যাচ্ছে না। সো র্যাঙ্ক ইমপ্রুভ করার জন্য আশফাক অ্যান্ড সাইফ অ্যান্ড even a lot of Pranay all suggested যে 3 players of maximum 4 should be the differential, rest should be all heavy hitters. So আমরা বলতেছি না যে ওয়াইল্ড কার্ডে আপনি সালা বাদ দেন, হালান্ড বাদ দেন। That's not what we are trying to say. What we are trying to say is ওয়াইল্ড কার্ড যদি খেলেন এই মুহূর্তে, তাহলে these are the 3 players that you can seriously consider আপনার ওয়াইল্ড কার্ডে নিয়ে আসার জন্য। কারণ এই 3টা প্লেয়ার খেলতে গেলে you have to probably go for -4 or -12 or -8. সো -8টা না খেয়ে আলটিমেটলি সেভ দ্য ট্রান্সফার। কারণ এখন সবাই যেহেতু খুবই কনজাস্টেড অবস্থা আছে, বিকজ এভরিবডি সো কনজেস্টেড, এবং একটা ভালো গেমিং খেলে র্যাঙ্ক হিউজ জাম্প দিচ্ছে। সো দিস ইজ ওয়েন ইউ নিড টু কিপ দ্য টেমপ্লেট স্ট্রাকচার রাইট, বাট ব্রিং ইন দিস প্লেয়ার্স উইদাউট অ্যাকচুয়ালি a -8। আর ওই -8 -4 খেলে যেটা হবে যে you're already going down quite a number of ranks, কয়েক লাখ নিচে চলে আছেন জাস্ট -4 এর কারণে। So that's the reason why we are telling you just target these 3-4 players and then we can set right. So as Ashfaq said, let's talk about Estupinian. And গত গেম উইকে আমরা এটা নিয়ে কথা বলছিলাম, and then he actually got the what do you call it, the assist. By the way, I just want to shout out one thing. এখানে আমি আইজ্যাকের নাম দিয়েছি। So I think I remember correctly, Mo Alamin কয়েকদিন আগে যখন আইজ্যাককে কনফার্ম করা হয়েছিল, Mo Alamin was telling us if Isaac is the right move to go. Mo Alamin, we told you that time that this is wait and watch, and I think we waited already and we have watched him already, and I think he looks really sharp with Wilson injury. I think this is a great option that you can really go for. So if you're listening, Mo Alamin, thank you so much for that suggestion. And of course, Isaac has now passed the eye test, as you can see, and of course the stat says it all, so you can go ahead with it, right? Okay, so Estupinian, when it comes to Estupinian, I think the last game week we saw clearly সে কোনো গোল দেয় নাই, but he was part of the assist, at least fantasy assist, and XG তার কিছু ছিল না যেহেতু সে কোনো গোল স্কোরিং পজিশনে ছিল না, but what he was in a position of অ্যাসিস্টের ক্ষেত্রে তার ভালো পজিশন ছিল। আই থিঙ্ক ইম্পর্টেন্ট জিনিস যেটা হলো যে ব্রাইটনের ডিফেন্স ইজ ভেরি স্ট্রং, অ্যান্ড সেই ডিফেন্স থেকে যদি একটা অ্যাটাকিং প্লেয়ার পাওয়া যায় যে একটা ডিফেন্সটা অ্যাটাকিং করে, সেটা খুবই ভালো। এবং সেটা প্রমাণ করার জন্য যেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে যে আলটিমেটলি তার পেনাল্টি রেট আছে অলরেডি 2টা, এবং সে প্রত্যেক 15 মিনিট পর পর এফপিএল পয়েন্ট দিচ্ছে 1 পয়েন্ট করে। সো প্রত্যেক 15 মিনিট পর পর যে প্লেয়ার আসলে এফপিএল পয়েন্ট 1 পয়েন্ট করে দিবে, তাহলে 90 মিনিটে কিন্তু তার কাছ থেকে আমরা অলরেডি 5 পয়েন্ট এক্সপেক্ট করতেই পারি। সো দ্যাটস অ্যানাদার থিং টু নো। নাও এখানে হিট ম্যাপ দেওয়া আছে, সো ইউ ক্যান লুক অ্যাট দ্য হিট ম্যাপ অলরেডি, অ্যান্ড ইউ ক্যান সি যে এখানে কিছু আমরা পেনাল্টি টাচের মধ্যে কিছু হলুদ দেখা যাচ্ছে আর কি পেনাল্টি বক্সের মধ্যে, বাট ইউ ক্যান সি দ্য জোন ওয়ার হি রিয়েলি অপারেটস। সো দ্যাটস ওয়ান। এখন কথা হচ্ছে যে আসলে সে কতটুকু অ্যাডভান্স খেলতেছে। নাও দিস ইজ ওয়ার দ্য Estupinian কামস ইন। এইখানে আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি এস্টুপিনিয়ান উইথ এ রেড অ্যারো। সো বেসিক্যালি সে অলরেডি পেনাল্টি বক্সের ভিতরে, সে লেফট ব্যাক হিসেবে খেলতেছে, বাট হি স্টিল কাইন্ড অফ অলরেডি ইন ফরওয়ার্ড, আর এবং সে প্রায় মানে অ্যাটাকিং স্ট্রাইকার এবং সবচেয়ে অ্যাডভান্স বলতে গেলে। যদি শুধু যে ব্যক্তি ক্রস করতেছে আর কি তাকে বাদ দিই, দেন হি ইজ দ্য মোস্ট অ্যাডভান্স। হি ইজ অ্যাকচুয়ালি আ লেফট উইং ব্যাক। আর লেফট উইং ব্যাক হয়ে যদি সে এত অ্যাডভান্স যায়, দেন দিস ইজ দ্য কাইন্ড অফ ডিফেন্ডার্স উই শুড বি টার্গেটিং। হি ইজ অনলি 4.5 মিলিয়ন। এবং আরেকটা জিনিস হলো যে এটা ঠিক আছে ভাই, একটা ম্যাচের মধ্যে একবার সেরকম যেতেই পারে। নো, দ্যাট ইজ নট দ্য কেস। দ্যাট ইজ অ্যাকচুয়ালি নট দ্য কেস। দিস ইজ দ্য সেকেন্ড কেস যেটা আমরা নোটিস করছিলাম খেলার মধ্যে, যেখানে দেখা যাচ্ছে যে হি ইজ রানিং ফরওয়ার্ড। সে গ্যাপটা যেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে এখানে সামনে, সে গ্যাপের মধ্যে থেকে সে আলটিমেটলি হি ওয়াজ ট্রাইং টু টেক অ্যাডভান্টেজ অ্যান্ড ট্রাই টু রান ইন বিহাইন্ড দ্য ডিফেন্স। সো অ্যাগেন তার মুভমেন্ট কিন্তু টুয়ার্ডস দ্য বক্স। সো সেই বক্সে আর একবার ঢুকার চেষ্টা করতেছে। সো দ্যাটস দ্য সেকেন্ড টাইম উই স হি ওয়াজ দেয়ার। অ্যান্ড দেন দ্য থার্ড টাইম যেটা দেখা গেল, দিস ইজ দ্য পেনাল্টি ওয়েন ইট হ্যাপেন্ড। এই ফাউলটার কারণে আলটিমেটলি হি গট দ্য অ্যাসিস্ট ফর দ্য পেনাল্টি। সো দিস ইজ এক্স্যাক্টলি দ্য মোমেন্ট যেখানে তাকে ফাউল করা হয়েছিল, অ্যান্ড দ্যাট ফাউল ওয়াজ ইনসাইড দ্য পেনাল্টি বক্স। সো একটা ডিফেন্ডার যে 4.5 প্লেইং ফর আ গুড টিম অ্যান্ড হি ইজ মুভিং ফরওয়ার্ড and has so many penalty touches, I think it's honestly speaking, and I will use I'll use Abu Bakar's famous words, no-brainer. ঠিক আছে? I don't think so it's a no-brainer if you're going for Estupinian in this case. Yeah, I think Estupinian is a very good shout. If you want to bring in a 4.5 midfield defender, Estupinian is your man, and Brighton has good fixtures as well. So I think that covers it up, right? So, okay, let's move to the best captains, and after the captains, we'll go to the question and answers, and that's it. We are done. Yeah? Okay, so over to you, Saif, for the first one.
So, we picked three choices today for this game week. Salah and Haaland are the obvious ones, and then Kane against Fulham. So, let's first look at the defensive stats of the opponents they're facing. So Salah has the Everton fixture, that's the Merseyside derby. Then Haaland is facing Aston Villa, and Kane faces Fulham at home. So as you can see clearly, as I have said before, the Steven Gerrard is currently struggling with Aston Villa's squad. They have a very good squad, I think, but he has not been able to implement his methods or his style. So they have started the season really poorly, and that has been evident in the stats shown. They have conceded 7 goals in the last 4 game weeks, not even 5. So they have not been unlucky. Their expected goals conceded is more than 7. So they have conceded 7 goals. That's on par, and also on target expected goals conceded is also more than 7. They have on target shots conceded of 23 shots. That's almost more than 5 shots, and almost 6 shots per game week on target shots. And also Martinez, I think, is having some confidence problems. So when they face on target shots, it's a chance that the shot will go in. Martinez hasn't been his former self, or hasn't been the self we know from previous FPL seasons. The same monster he is. So next worst fixture, I think Everton. Everton and Fulham are actually on par with regards to the stats. They both have expected goals conceded of more than around 6.5, or around almost slightly below 7. Then they conceded on target shots 18 and 17. That's almost on par. So both are equally bad defenses at the moment. But I think we cannot look with the outside Haaland for captaincy choices. So the main concern is whether you believe he will start or not. So if you believe Haaland will start, then I think Haaland is the no-brainer option here. But if we don't believe that Haaland will start, or his minutes will be managed, he will only play 15 to 20 minutes, then it comes between Salah and Kane. So I think Salah has been the more creative option, has been playing more creative role nowadays. So he has 2 assists in the last fixtures, but his goal attempts have dried up a bit. So Kane can be a good option if you have him, but most of the teams already have Salah or Haaland. So I think it comes between the two. So if you just look at the opponent and disregard any other factors, I think Haaland is a standout choice because he's facing a really poor Aston Villa team this game.
Right. Okay. Before we go to the next slide, just let me make this clear. So all those of you watching, 34 of you, thank you so much for watching, brother. And of course, if you have a question, please send it to us. You have about 7 minutes left, কারণ আর 7 মিনিটের পরে আমরা আর কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন যেগুলো আসবে সেগুলো কোয়েশ্চেন আর আমরা আনসার করবো না। সো 7 মিনিট বাকি আছে, 11:30টার সময় কাট অফ কোয়েশ্চেন টেকিং, কাট অফ টাইম যদি বলি আর কি। সো কোয়েশ্চেন টেকিং এর জন্য কাট অফ টাইম যেটা, সেটা হলো 11:30। সো আর মাত্র 6 মিনিট বাকি আছে। So please send in your questions within the next 6 minutes and we will answer all these questions live on the show. So please do that as soon as possible. Yeah. 11:30টার পরে কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন আসলে আমরা সেটা নিব না। So please do that. Right. Over to you, Ashfaq, for the next one.
Right. So regarding captaincy stats over this season, Salah has 1 goal and 2 assists, and Haaland over 5 game weeks already has 7 goals and 1 assist. That is nothing short of phenomenal. And Kane has been very consistent as well. Has had 4 goals and 1 assist, so he's a decent captaincy shout too. Now regarding the stats, Salah, I think he has a very good record against Everton, but like Saifai said, he's been playing a more creative role as we have seen so far this season rather than the more attacking, threatening role. So that is why his attacking return on investment has been very good.
You are muted. Nadim bhai, you are muted.
Sorry, all of us are having a bit of an internet issue because of the rain. So I think Ashfaq is also having an internet issue. So yes, Saif, if you can take it over from there, and once he
Yeah,
comes
sure.
back, then you can stop and he
So,
can talk straight away.
as I was saying that he's been playing a bit of more creative role, as it's been evident in the last game where he assisted both the goals. But I think one factor here is the return of Darwin. So I think Darwin's return will also affect Liverpool's attack on the positive side, and I think Salah will have some more space to attack. So that might be something to consider. Also, you can see that he is bossing the penalty area touches. He's still going inside the penalty area, so I think he will get his chance. So if you want to take a risk and go without Haaland, then I think Salah is a very viable shout. And also Kane is the third choice here, and I don't think many of the teams have Kane, but he can be a very good differential option this game because they are facing Fulham. Although Fulham has been playing pretty good, but they have not been defensively tight. So Kane has started the season well. He has already scored 4 goals, and his expected goals is 3. And so expected goal involvement is more than 3. So I think he will do well against Fulham. Also, it's a London derby, so Fulham will attack a bit, and I think there will be goals in the fixture. And Haaland is the obvious choice when looking at the stats. So the only concern for Haaland is his expected minutes. But if you can see from the minutes per attempt chart, even if he gets 50 minutes, he will have at least I think he will have at least 2 goal involvements. So it's just a matter of whether you see him as he started in this game week or not. So that's all.
Right. Thanks. Ashfaq, anything to add? Because you missed out on saying this because of your internet.
Right, having some internet issues probably due to the rain. So
Yeah, you can see the screen if you want. You can switch off your screen. I think it's frozen again. Okay. Right. Okay. I think then let's not delay. Let's go to the question sections then. We can take his comments again. I think there'll be questions about captaincy anyway at the question section, so we can take his comments at that moment. Right. Okay. Ashfaq, if you're having issues with your internet, suggest you switch it off, switch off your screen and then talk because at least take to hello bandwidth combe arki. So yeah, let's go. Let's guys, while we answer the questions, please let us know, just to let you know that all the questions we'll be answering, we'll try to use the zonal weakness matrix. আমাদের যে জোনাল উইকনেস ম্যাট্রিক্স আমরা যেটা করি সেটার বেসিসে আমরা প্রত্যেকটা কোয়েশ্চেনকে আনসার করার চেষ্টা করব। And you have 2 minutes left to send in your questions, and after 2 minutes we will not take any more questions, and those questions will not be answered in the live show. So sorry for that. So if you have a burning question, please send it to us, no problem. Yeah.
আর 2 মিনিট পরে আমরা আর কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন্স নিব না, সো দ্যাটস দ্যাট। Yeah, all right. So I see Mesbabul Haq is sending an angry reaction. Thanks, brother, for that angry reaction. If you can let us know in the comment section as to why you are angry about it, or what makes you angry, that would be great, because we would like to know what makes you so angry. Yeah, so do let us know that. Yeah, thanks. Right. Okay, so the first one, it comes from Nuru Zaman, and it's of course a welcome message. Assalamu alaikum, kemon achen bhai? Kemon achen shobai, sorry. And of course we are good, brother. We are all good. And then somebody from the community is asking, ek packet tomato sauce darkar. I don't understand this. Does anybody understand this? The sense of it, or the joke of it, or the fun part of it? No, I don't get it either. So yeah, at packet tomato sauce darkar. I don't know what is it. But yeah, thanks for the comment, brother. Then Arabic Bhai is joining us from Maldives, of course, and he says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. And then Ahmed Fahim, he's here sharing his love. And then Jangir from FPLBD is back. He's having a terrible season. He's really very annoyed and kind of very disturbed and disappointed with his performance. But just to let Jangir know, it happens to the best of everybody. So don't be disappointed. There are people who are way better managers than us. We're still in somewhere around 3 lakh, 30 lakh, 20 lakh, 22 lakh পড়ে আছে এখনো. It's a long season, so hang in there and keep playing. And I'm sure the variance or the luck or whatever you want to call it, it will turn around, brother. Turn around. Right, Saif. So I'll come to you with this question. 2 FTs available. Keeper sells Perisic. If sell James or Cucurella. Keeper sell Ramsdale. Henderson better shout. Best Rodrigo replacement, Aronson or Harrison, or Zaha better? Over to you, Saif.
I would sell Perisic because I don't think he will start against Fulham, and also they have Man City afterwards. So I think he will miss out on. Even if he plays against Man City, I don't think they have a very good chance of keeping clean sheets. So it might be only be 2 points. Then I think he might be rotated again. So I don't think I think he will be a rotation headache. So
Yeah, you there?
still, I think he will be rotated. He will be rotated with Chilwell soon. Chilwell is coming back to full fitness, and also they have brought in a lot of defensive reinforcements. So he will be rotated heavily also. So I don't want to sell one rotation headache for another rotation headache. And James is the one I would pick because he already has his rest. He missed out on the last midweek. He was not injured; he was ill. So and he has also joined in the full training now, and so I think he will definitely start against West Ham. So if you have the fun, then go for James. Ramsdale.
Right.
So if I have no other burning issues in my team, I would definitely look to sell Ramsdale because I think the reason Arsenal has not been keeping clean sheet is Ramsdale. He has not been solid in his goalkeeping, and also some people have been mentioning that he is a bit of an overrated keeper because of the diving saves he make. But the thing is, he also lets in quite a few goals, and also in the previous seasons, the appeal of Ramsdale was his save points. But this season, he only had save point in one game, I think. So that appeal is also gone. So if they are not keeping clean sheets, I don't see the point of sticking with Ramsdale. Henderson can be a very good option. Then there is Sanchez too. Sanchez in a very good Brighton team, I think he can be a very good option. Also, Sanchez has been keeping save points, getting save points, and also getting bonus points whenever they are keeping a clean sheet. So I think Sanchez for me is the better option than Henderson. But Henderson is also a very good option. Also, he is a bit of a penalty save magnet. He saves quite a few penalties he faces. So then there is that. If they face a penalty, then there might be a huge 12-13 pointer for Henderson. And best Rodrigo replacement, Aronson, I like very much. He is a very, we can say, live wire. The term I was looking for is live wire. He is a bit of a live wire. I think with Bamford coming in, he will have more assists in his locker. I think Bamford will finish more of his chances created. Harrison is one I think is a dilemma because he has played really poorly in the last game. he was taking corners and people were saying that he could not clear the first man. So I think he might be dropped in some games. So I would not go for Harrison. In For me, is Zaha is the best pick for Rodrigo replacement if you have the funds, because he has been playing in with very good confidence. So fixtures I don't think will matter for him, even though they have some tough looking fixtures coming up. But I think fixtures don't matter to Zaha. He scored against Liverpool. I think he would score against Man City. They scored two against Man City, but he missed out unfortunately. But if he was playing, I think he would definitely get a return. And also he is heavily involved whenever Crystal Palace is scored. So they have been playing really fluid attacking football. So I think their goals will come and Zaha will keep on getting returns. So if you can get to him, I think now is the time to jump ahead of the crowd. So for me, Rodrigo best replacement is if you have the fund, then go for Zaha. And if not, then Aronson is one I prefer ahead of Harrison.
Right. So just to go back to the zonal reference here, if you look at it, third row, so where Newcastle is mentioned, you see Zaha is playing there. So Newcastle is very weak when in the right side, and they have considered 16 chances so far. And in that case, Newcastle যদি খারাপের দিক থেকে আমরা র্যাঙ্কিং করি, তাহলে সেটা হলো 6 নাম্বার, যেদিক দিয়ে জাহা খেলবে. And then the two shouts, the other shout where it is Aronson. If you go to the second last row, you will see that Brentford is there. So Brentford-এর দুর্বল দিক থেকে হলো যেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে সেটা হলো সেন্টার. সেন্টারে তারা অলরেডি 19টা চান্সেস কনসিড করছে, এবং সেখানে ব্রেন্টফোর্ড হলো খারাপের দিক থেকে র্যাঙ্কিং করলে 5 নাম্বার, যেখান দিয়ে অ্যারনসন খেলবে. অ্যান্ড অ্যারনসন ইজ লাইক প্রথম দিকে he was still trying to adjust, he was still trying to make it up, but now he looks lively. Now he really looks lively. So according to Saif, Jangir, if you are going, Zaha and Aronson, but if you're asking my advice, I would go for Morgan Gibbs-White. That would be my advice. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's go to the next question then. Shahnaz Parveen is asking Loris as a goalkeeper option. Karon erpore she arekta question dise arki. So I would understand that she's asking if Loris is a good goalkeeper option for these upcoming fixtures. Ashfaq, over to you.
Well, I think defensively Spurs does not look the best team to start with. If you have Loris, I think you have better and cheaper options in Sanchez and Raya. Raya still has good fixtures, and with the fixtures turn, I think Henderson can be a good shout as well. So goalkeeper is something that usually for most FPL managers is a bit of a lesser priority. So if you don't have any other transfer to do, then I think moving away from Loris and targeting someone like Henderson, Raya, Sanchez, or even Pope can be a good option. And if you're on a wild card, then I would definitely move on from Loris.
Ashfaq, you got muted, I think. No, you're okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Sorry. No, he's not frozen. He's fine. Yeah. All right. So Malik Muqtadir Khan joins us from YouTube. He says hello. Thank you, brother. Thank you, and thank you always for your support, brother. Appreciate that very much. So Shahnaz Parveen is then saying Loris, Diaz, Cancelo, Trippier, James. আমার মনে হয় এটা হলো তার defensive lineup. So what do you think about this lineup, Saif?
Loris, Diaz, Cancelo, Trippier, James. I think the defenders are all right, but as Ashfaq Bhai was saying that Tottenham is a team and they have not been keeping clean sheets, and also they have some tough fixtures to come, and also rotation constants is there in defense. So I don't think they will keep that many clean sheets coming ahead. So Loris is, I think, a luxury. He is also 5.5. I think you can easily downgrade him to Henderson or Sanchez and save one, and I think you will get better points from them than Loris. So I definitely look to transfer out Loris when you have the opportunity, or if you are in wildcard, I definitely go for one of Sanchez or Henderson for Loris. And Diaz, Cancelo, I think Man City clean sheets point will come. They have been unlucky. Their expected goals considered is pretty good. So I think their clean sheet points will come. So Diaz, Cancelo, Man City double up is a viable option. And Trippier, I think Newcastle have some great run of fixtures coming up, and Trippier has been playing advanced. He takes set pieces, also free kicks. His free kick record is outstanding. So Trippier is a very good option. And James, as I have been saying, that James has his rest in the midweek, so I think he will play most of the league games coming ahead. So James is also a very good option. So your defense is all right, but I would look to downgrade Loris.
Thanks, Saif. The next one comes from name is Faim, and he's showing his love for us. Thank you so much, brother. And then Loris, of course, GK Shanas Parveen is saying, so that's already something we have already answered. Shanas Parveen Appa, thank you so much for joining, of course, on YouTube, and of course, keep supporting us. Very much appreciate this. Right, Al Mujahid Bhai then says, Assalamu alaikum, bro. And then, of course, Imamul Muntasir Bhai is saying, hello, brothers. Hello, brother. And then Amit Hassan is coming back with the same again question, which is an interesting option, of course. Amit Hassan is asking, Ashfaq, can you hear me, by the way?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And we
but
can.
Your screen is frozen.
Yeah, your screen is frozen, so that's why we are asking you. I would suggest, Ashfaq, you completely. I would suggest you completely switch off your screen for today. Don't need to switch it on even if the internet is stable. Just keep it off for time today, and just answer the question as and when you can. Right. Okay. Amit Hassan is asking Ashfaq, Rodrigo to Trossard or Harrison. What do you think?
Between them, I think I would go with Trossard, because primarily what we have seen that since Estupinian has come in for the Brighton team, Trossard has had more freedom to go forward. So Estupinian had a better effect on Trossard than we hoped. The host here has already moved for Trossard, I think, rather than Gross. So that goes to show that what his strategy is. So between them, I think Trossard is a good pick. I've seen a tweet from Abu Bakar today that he also thinks that one of the best replacement for Rodrigo is Trossard. So I don't think you can go really wrong there. So between them, I would rather go with Trossard than Harrison.
Yeah. So yeah. Just that everybody knows, and before I come to this Trossard question, I see 37 people are watching, so thank you so much for that. And I just want to tell you, next week, so for Game Week 7, we'll have an international guest coming and joining us from the UK. So England থেকে একজন আমাদের সাথে join করছেন next week. So please do keep an eye on Bono Football Fantasy page, and you will know who that person is. We'll make the announcement on our page, of course. But yeah, just to let you know that an international manager will be joining us. আমাদের গেম উইক 3-তে যেমন সংকল্প আসছিল, সো নাও উই উইল হ্যাভ অ্যানাদার পারসন জয়নিং আস ফ্রম গেম উইক 7, এন্ড আমরা চেষ্টা করব সেটা হলো যে এরকম 3-4 সপ্তাহ পর পর একজন ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ম্যানেজারকে আমাদের এই সিজনে নিয়ে আসার। লেটস হোপ উই ক্যান ডু ইট, বাট ইয়া, but it's confirmed now. Game Week 7 এসে আসতেছে, so that's that. So do keep an eye on our Bono Football Fantasy page to know who that manager is. Definitely somebody quite well known and reputed in the Twitter community, of course. Right. Okay, when it comes to Trossard, just to let everybody know, I actually took Trossard already, but কিছু পাইনি এখন পর্যন্ত, so that's a disappointment, but I'm not worried. এই কারণে যে there is also a comparison between Trossard and Gross, and I think Trossard, in terms of penalty box touches and in terms of number of shots on target, Trossard is double than Gross, but Gross has delivered the points so far. Trossard hasn't, but Trossard will, I think, very soon. And he's playing centrally, by the way. So that's another thing to watch out. Right, okay. Let's move on to the next question. Nadim Hassan Imon, good to see you, brother. And he says, hello, brothers. Kemon achen shobai? Alhamdulillah, brother. We are all fine. What is your prediction about front three of Man City? Saif, over to you.
Grealish is, I think, injured, so I think that rules him out. So my prediction would be Haaland and Foden both will start, because they were taken off around the 60 minutes mark in the last match. So I think both of them will start, and I think one of Mahrez and Bernardo Silva will play alongside those two. So Haaland, Foden, and one of Bernardo Silva or Mahrez.
What do you think about them? Your views on the front three, actually. Like, what's your view?
He asked for a prediction or his view.
Yeah, I would say he asked for prediction, but I would also like to give the views, and I think the zonal strength is there for you.
I don't think we should bother about picking another from the front three, because they will rotate heavily in the coming weeks. So Haaland is enough. If you want to pick another one, I would go for someone like KDB if you don't have Salah, or one of Bernardo Silva or Gundogan, because I think Bernardo Silva can play anywhere in the front or also in the midfield, so he will play a lot of fixtures. Also, the transfer window is over, so his transfer saga is for now over. So I think he will focus on the focus on the matches. So I think Bernardo Silva or Gundogan can be one to pick, but Foden or Mahrez, I would not definitely don't go there, because we actually don't know which matches he will play or not, because it's so random. But Foden is, I think, whenever he's fit, he will play most of the matches. But even then, I would not want to spend around 7 to 8 million on someone who I cannot trust to play every league matches, because Pep Roulette will be there. Then they have the European fixtures and rotation will be heavily there. So I think Haaland is enough from the front three. And if you want to double up, I would double up on the defense, or from the midfield, not from the front three.
Right. I have a slight difference of opinion when it comes to this one, to be honest. I have a slight of difference of opinion in a sense যেহেতু front three কথা বলছেন, I just want to go back to that slide again. Let me just go back to the slide. Yeah. So I think when it comes to this one, I at least going back previous history or previous season, Foden looked quite assured. মানে starting এর ক্ষেত্রে Foden looked very much assured, to be honest. এবং যেটা হয়েছে যে because Foden is so assured, আমার মনে হয় আমি বলতেছি না যে he'll play all 38 games. I'm not saying that. Rotation is not my prediction here. ঠিক আছে, I'm not going to predict the rotation, but যেটা বলতে পারি যে 38টা গেমের মধ্যে at least I can expect 29 games from Foden to start. That's what I can assure you. Yeah, 29 match যদি সে খেলে, that would be more than enough to get you enough points, and he's a differential anyway. এবং এই rotation হবে বলে কেউ নেয় না ultimately. So that's another point. The third point that I want to make, যেটা স্লাইডে ultimately স্ক্রিনে দেখা যাচ্ছে, is the zonal strength. So আমরা এতদিন ধরে শুধু zonal weakness নিয়ে কথা বলছিলাম, but now we are also trying to bring you the zonal strength. Zonal strength হলো basically আসলে এক একটা অ্যাটাকিং টিমের বা এক একটা টিমের অ্যাটাকিং সাইড থেকে ফ্রন্ট থ্রি কোন দিকটা আসলে বেশি স্ট্রং। সো বিকজ দিস কোয়েশ্চেন কেম ইন ফ্রম ফ্রন্ট থ্রি, এখানে ক্লিয়ারলি দেখা যাচ্ছে যে ম্যানচেস্টার সিটি এখন পর্যন্ত 5টা ম্যাচে 62টা চান্স ক্রিয়েট করেছে। তার মধ্যে হলো 22টা আসছে হলো লেফট ফ্ল্যাঙ্কে যেখান থেকে ফরেন খেলে, আর রাইট ফ্ল্যাঙ্কে আসছে হলো 22টা যেখান থেকে বার্নার্ডো সিলভা অথবা কেডিবি খেলে। ঠিক আছে, সেন্টারের দিক থেকে তারা মাত্র 18টা। সো আই থিঙ্ক দ্যাট মেক্স ফরেন अगेन আ ভেরি গুড শাউট। ঠিক আছে, আর আমি যদি এখন ইয়েতে দেখি জোনাল উইকনেসে যাই, জোনাল উইকনেসে যদি যাই, अगेन ফরেন ইজ আ ভেরি গুড শাউট, এই কারণে যে অ্যাস্টন ভিলা এখন পর্যন্ত ওই দিক থেকে রাইট ফ্ল্যাঙ্ক দিয়ে তারা হলো তাদের রাইট ফ্ল্যাঙ্ক দিয়ে আলটিমেটলি 18টা চান্স কনসিড করছে, এবং সেই 18টা চান্সেস কনসিড করার দিকে যদি ওয়ার্স্ট র্যাঙ্কিংটা করা হয়, অ্যাস্টন ভিলা সেখান থেকে থার্ড। সো 3 নাম্বার খারাপ টিম যদি বাম দিক থেকে কেউ থাকে, ডান দিক থেকে কেউ থাকে এখন পর্যন্ত এই 5 গেমিংয়ের ডেটা অনুযায়ী, সেটা হলো অ্যাস্টন ভিলা, এবং সেখান থেকে ফরেন খেলবে। এবং আমাদের কিন্তু ফরেন আর অলরেডি যারা জোনাল উইকনেসটা আমাদের ইয়েতে দেখছেন আর কি, টুইটারে দেখছেন, তারা কিন্তু অলরেডি দেখে যে আমরা ওখানে ফরেনের নাম মেনশন করছি আর কি ক্লিয়ারলি। সো আই থিঙ্ক ফরেন ইজ আনাদার গুড শাউট। অফকোর্স ইজ 8 মিলিয়ন, বাট 8 মিলিয়ন ইজ আ ব্র্যাকেট যেখানে আসলে সবাই ঘোরাঘুরি করতেছে, কখনো কুলু, কখনো ডিয়াস, কখনো কখনো ও। I think Foden is a good shout, and I think this will be another good match. So yeah, that's my option.
While I don't necessarily disagree that Foden is a bad shout, the thing with Foden, what I've seen at least in this season, that Pep has a tendency of substituting him out around the 45 minutes or 55-minute mark, before the 60-minute mark. So regarding his minutes managed, I think I agree with the fact that he might start most games, but I'm more concerned about the number of minutes he will play. I think the game before, I think I saw him play around 45 minutes. In the last game, I also saw him play around 55 minutes. So I think that to some extent diminishes his point potential a bit. So that is, if you're thinking of Foden, I think that is something you should be concerned about. And regarding the 8 million midfield mark, I think people are actually considering a lot of options in that point. But going forward, I think people will move more towards the third striker option rather than the fifth midfield or the fourth defender option, because I think there are many new options coming up in the third striker, like Mitrovic and Isaac and Tony.
I wouldn't disagree with you this case, Ashfaq, and I totally agree with you. But একটা জিনিস যেটা আমি আর পারভেজ at least খেয়াল করছিলাম এবং এটা নিয়ে কথা হচ্ছিল because there was a lot of noise in Twitter, so we tried to follow up on that and try to see if that is the case. যেটা হচ্ছিল যে every time he made a very big mistakes in a sense যে does anyone remember Game Week 2? Anybody remembers Game Week 2 যেখানে আমরা সবাই হালান্ডকে ক্যাপ্টেন দিছিলাম and Haaland just got an assist?
He did
Remember
not
ওখানে
pass to Haaland.
Yes, there were 2 chances where he had the opportunity to pass it to Haaland and he didn't. He played selfish.
He did
And
the same last game week too.
Yes, and that is why he was taken off again. So the interesting point is every time he does this selfishness or selfish play, we might be wrong. I'm not saying this is exactly the reason. আমি এটা বলতেছি না, but যেটা নোটিস করছি ভাই সেটা বলতেছি. Something that people might not have observed, we are just sharing that. Every time he plays very selfish, যেখানে clear goal scoring opportunity আছে and he goes and takes it himself, Pep is very livid about it এবং ওই সময় কিন্তু পেপকে দেখায়ও এবং he is fuming. তারপরে দেখা যায় যে সে 45 minutes অথবা 60 minutes পরে তাকে উঠায় নেওয়া হচ্ছে. So that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, I agree with whatever you said, Ashfaq, and I think that is the reason as to why we think he's been taken off so quickly. Okay, right, let's go to the next one. Rapsan Tanmay bhai saying assalamu alaikum, walaikum assalam brother. Hold Robertson or not? Ashfaq, what do you think about this? I'll just bring the zonal weakness in the meantime.
Yeah, if you can just go to the zonal strength part.
Okay, let me just
So regarding Robertson, I think right now there are many better options in the defender area, relatively cheap options, because I think there's more value in investing in some other teams that has good starts to the season, such as Brighton or Newcastle. I think Trippier at 5 million or 5.1 million can be a very good punt because of his set piece abilities, and Brighton defense has been doing good as well, not to mention the Arsenal defense. So these are the defenses I think you should target, because Liverpool has had a slow start to the season, and doubling up on a defense, I'm assuming already have Trent Alexander, and your second Liverpool defender is Robertson. So doubling up of Liverpool defense is something that I don't think warrants a mandate right now. So if you look at the zonal, can you go to the zonal strength slide?
We don't have Robertson there, Ashfaq.
Yeah, so you'll see that from the left flank, Liverpool is one of the his chances created is one of the lesser statistics in Robertson and Diaz, where it's only 14. So that goes to show that Robertson had a slow start to the season along with Liverpool's defense. So I think Robertson, because of his high price point, should be a priority transfer out for you. And I think there's very good value in other cheaper defenders. We have discussed a few in our pod here, and you could always invest that money to better your squad in midfield or striking position. So Robertson is a transfer out for me.
Right, thanks Ashfaq. I think that's a very clear assessment. Amaro Robertson chilo, and I kind of kicked him out in Game Week 4, sorry. Game Week 4 pore ber kore disi. Just to let everybody know, there's another big announcement coming. Beside the international manager joining us, there is another big announcement coming, and we hope to share this again by next week. So yeah, do keep an eye on Ghana Football. We are growing, and we would like to thank you for all the support you have given us. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, okay. Then comes to Emmanuel Muntasir Bhai is asking, Rodrigo Jaga kake nibo? Saif?
We already have a discussion in the initial stage of the pod where Ashfaq Bhai covered some of the options we can pick instead of Rodrigo, because I think he will be out for around 4 weeks. Also, Bamford is back, so we don't know if he will be straight back in the team when he's fit. So for me, the best option is if you don't have Gross. Gross is a very good option. Then if you have the budget, I think you can sell him for 6.2. So if you have some budget in hand, you can go for Trossard. Or if you have some more budget, I would definitely go for Zaha, because I think Zaha is the best of the three I mentioned. And also you can, if you don't have 3 strikers, then you can downgrade Rodrigo to someone around the 4.4 or 4.5 mark, and then look to bring in one of Mitrovic, Tony, or Isaac, because I think those three strikers will do quite good in the coming game weeks. So you can shift your team structure that way. But if you have three strikers and then Rodrigo, then I would go for one of Zaha, Trossard, or Gross in that order.
Right. Thanks. So Sheikh Shuman Bhai is asking, Captain pick Sterling chinta kora jay? Ashfaq?
I think owning Sterling is a bit of a differential right now. If you do own Sterling, I think that is good enough. Captaincy is a whole different thing. I think captaincy or safer choice would be to move between Salah and Haaland. If you have Sterling, I think that is good enough to propel you in your mini league, and that is a good differential to own in its own merit. I would not recommend captaining Sterling, but owning Sterling definitely.
এমনি ডিফারেন্সিয়াল ভাই, আর কত ডিফারেন্সিয়াল চান? ক্যাপ্টেন দিলে তো হিউজ ডিফারেন্সিয়াল হয়ে যাবে। এমনি তো সে প্রায় মানে 2% না মানে 3% ওন শুধু। এরপরে আর আসলে ক্যাপ্টেন্সি দেওয়ার কোনো দরকার নেই।
So he might be shifted to wing soon.
Yeah, that's another point. Very good point.
He will hog the penalty box now.
Right. Okay. So Sarvanjan Real Bhai is asking, Bernardo Silva, Tony, Saliba, Neco Williams, pick 2 to play. দুইজনকে যে কোনো একজনকে দুইজনকে পিক করতে হবে চারজনের মধ্যে।
Definitely play Tony because he plays Leeds. I think he's due a goal. He has been unlucky not to score a goal in the last 2 game weeks. I think his goal will come. And I would bench Saliba because they are playing Man United away. So I think there will be goals for both teams in that match. And Saliba won't give attacking returns every day. So this is a good fixture to bench him. And I would go for Neco Williams because this is the game week where you can play Neco Williams. They have had some tough fixtures, but now they have a good fixture run coming up, and I think they would look to capitalize. Also, if you see the zonal weakness, they are playing Bournemouth, and from the left flank, from where Neco Williams will attack, they are the worst team in terms of process considered. So there is definitely assist potential for Neco Williams fixture. Also, he takes some of the corners and free kicks, so there's that too. So I think if you have Neco Williams, this is the game week to play him. And Bernardo Silva is, I think, a bit of rotation risk, so I would keep him first in the bench, then Saliba. But from these 4, I would play Tony and Neco Williams this game.
Thanks, Saif. And the next question comes from Raksan Tanmay Bhai. Bench Rodrigo and play Neco Williams to save the FT, or change Rodrigo to someone? Ashfaq.
First of all, I want to stress that, am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen. You can be seen. I can see that
Okay,
cheeky smile on your
so right. Rasman Thomas bhai, I think, like Saif bhai said, I totally agree with him. I think this is the prime fixture to play Neco Williams. Bournemouth has been very, like Saif bhai also mentioned, that Bournemouth is essentially a championship team playing in the Premier League. And if you look at the zonal weakness, the flank that Neco Williams actually attacks from the left flank, Bournemouth is the worst ranked in the last 4 game weeks. So we fully expect that Neco Williams will have some good options to score or provide an assist from there. So I think this is the prime fixture to play Neco Williams. Whether you transfer out Rodrigo is a different question, but you should definitely play Neco Williams, no doubt.
Right. Okay. So next question comes from Shanas Parvin Apag, and thank you so much for the question. Loris, Diaz, Cancelo, Trippier, James, Ward, Kulusevski, Saka, Gundo, Vardy, Jesus, Benche Asewolo, Rodrigo, Mendy, White, Mitrovic. Should I play wildcard? Whom should I change? Saif, big question, big people, big manager. Over to you.
James Ward. I think Ward is in the bench. Ward is mentioned alongside James. I think Ward is the bench keeper, I'm guessing. So she has Loris, then Diaz, Cancelo, Trippier, James 4, and Kulusevski, Saka, Gundogan 4, and then Vardy and Jesus. Uh, Vardy is playing Brighton, I think, so it's a very tough fixture in Leicester's current form for them. So Vardy is one, I think, but Leicester's fixture is turning. They have some good fixtures coming up, so you can hold off Vardy for now. So Mendy, if you have two FTs, then I would definitely look to transfer out Loris, as I mentioned before, because Loris is a waste of money at this point. You can easily get one of Sanchez or Henderson and get better points from them. So I would definitely look to transfer out Loris first. Kulusevski is another one I would look to transfer out if you have FTs after, if you have two FT, and I would like to bring in. You can play your wildcard a bit later, but for this game week, I think, as Nadim Bhai mentioned, Foden has some good potential. You can definitely look to attack this game week by bringing in Foden for Kulusevski, because Richarlison is waiting in the wings, so we know he will come in the squad for uh, sometime sooner rather than later. So we definitely don't know whom for. Any of Kane, Son, or Kulusevski might be benched, but Richarlison will definitely come into play. So you can easily transfer out Kulusevski and bring in Foden to attack the coming game weeks. And if you have Mendy, if it's Mendy, the goalkeeper, then definitely also downgrade him to someone around the 4 mark. So for this game week, I think the priority should be to downgrade Loris, and then the playing 11 is all right for this game week, I think. So you can still hold the wild card and then target the wildcard when the fixture turn is there around the game week 8 or before game week 9, when the international break will come in. So you have a long period to assess and play your wildcard. And also, I think for this game week, I will bench Vardy for Mitrovic, because Mitrovic is in good form. So I think he will definitely look to keep on his goal scoring form, and Vardy is facing a tough Brighton defense. So he can be benched this game week. So you're starting 11 all right, but bench Vardy for Mitrovic and look to transfer out Loris and bring in one of Sanchez or Henderson. I prefer Sanchez personally. So that's that.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that, Saif. Yeah, I think that's quite clear. Okay, so Mohammad Nuruzzaman Bhai is asking wildcard active করা ঠিক হবে কিনা, ডিএস কি রোটেশন হওয়ার চান্স আছে কি? Ashfaq. And I think he's talking about Man City
Wildcard
Diaz.
active করা ঠিক, right? So if you want to, whether you want to play your wildcard or not depends on your team condition right now. So if you have players that you need addressed, such as you have Rodrigo, you have Robertson, you have Ramsdale, so you have, let's say, 3 or 4 transfers you need to make to get in a decent squad. I think that then while that actually strategy warrants a wild card. But personally, if you have a bit of a template team, because template is pretty strong right now, if you have a bit of a template team, then I think you can hold off to wild card for a few more game weeks. Diaz rotation, I think, is a bit of a concern right now, because Jota has come back into training, and Dario Nunez is also back from suspension, so which means Liverpool has a lot of options in attack. Firmino, who was not a good option before because of his form, suddenly looks like the player who will start most games. So I think there is a little bit of concern regarding Diaz's minutes or Diaz's starting position, but we'll know once the full Euro fixtures takes hold. But I think Diaz is a bit of a concern for me in terms of rotation, particularly because of Jota coming in and Nunez's suspension being lifted.
Right. Thanks. So anybody who, when we're answering the question, if you like the answer, please do send us a like. And if you think our answer is rubbish, please send us an angry reaction. Whatever you feel, but react to whatever we are saying, because that will help us to understand whether we are on the right track or whether we are on the wrong track. Yeah. So please do that. Yeah, it's an interaction, brother. It's not one-way traffic. One-way traffic হলে যেটা হতো যে আমরা কোশ্চেনই নিতাম না, আমরা আমাদের মতো আসতাম, বকর বকর করতাম, চলে যেতাম, দ্যাটস ইট। আপনারা ভালো থাকেন এটা বলে চলে যেতাম, বাট we are interacting, so please do interact. Yeah. All right. Then Imamul Muntasir bhai is asking, two FTs available, একটা দিয়ে রড্রিগো চেঞ্জ করব আর একটা দিয়ে রামসডেল টু সানচেজ করব নাকি হোল্ড করব? আশফাক, সরি সাইফ।
It would have been a bit better if you could see your entire 11. So you could see if you can bench Rodrigo for someone like Neko. But we don't know. So I think the priority should be to replace Rodrigo if you don't have any bench cover. And we have already detailed the options you can bring in instead of Rodrigo, like Cross or Trossard, and then you can also change him for a striker, or if you have some fund, you can also bring in Zaha. So if you can bench Rodrigo, then I would use one FT to downgrade Ramsdale to Sanchez, but I would not look to use up both the FTs in this game. Keeping a FT in hand is very, very handy in terms of injuries or suspension or something unexpected happens. So if you can bench Rodrigo for someone like Nico Williams, then keep Rodrigo, change Ramsdale to Sanchez. But if you don't have any bench cover, then the priority should be to change Rodrigo and keep the other FT in hand now. And let's see if you can attack. If you can have a game week where you don't need any changes, then you can switch your goalkeepers.
Right. Thanks. Okay, someone from the community is asking, Assalamu alaikum brothers. Wa alaikum assalam brother. Best replacement of Rodrigo, already have Salah, Martinelli, Andreas Bailey. Need suggestion, one FT is available with WILDCARD also. Ashfaq.
So I think we already discussed in details the replacements of Rodrigo. I see that you have already have Salah, Martinelli, Andreas, and Bailey. I think Bailey should be a priority transfer out in your squad. His price will only go lower. Aston Villa did not have the best starts to the season. They play Man City next. I think Bailey's price will only go lower. I personally have already lost, I think, 0.2 or 0.3 on him. So Bailey should be a priority transfer out from your squad. Regarding Rodrigo, the best options would be obviously the Brighton midfields in Gross or Trossard. Gross has similar stats to Rodrigo up until last game week, so he's partially on set pieces as well. So that's something that he has an advantage on. Trossard is a bit of a differential pick. Since Estupinian came in, Trossard has had very good attacking prowess because of having the freedom to move forward and not having to track back like previous games. So Trossard could be a great differential pick as well. Other than that, our other differential pick would be, if you can afford him, if you can afford him, then Zaha, and a differential pick would be Gibson White. But I think you should watch one or two games before moving to Gibson White. But because of Nottingham Forest's good fixtures, he can be a great option as well. So between those, I think you can't really go wrong with Brighton midfields. Other than that, Gibson White or Zaha, take your pick. Oh, last one is regarding wildcard. So I don't have a full extent of your overall squad. Other than that, if you feel you need to have 3 or 4 transfers to balance your squad, only then should you consider the wildcard. Other than that, I think you can still put off the wildcard up until now if you have a bit of a template squad.
Right. So if you have a template squad, hold on to it. Otherwise, go for just one FT and then make the change of Bailey, brother. Right. Okay. Zakaria Ahmed Bhai is asking Madison to whom, or should I keep him? Saif?
If you held on to Madison for this long, I think their fixtures are turning, and also the transfer saga is done because the transfer window is closed. So I think they will now focus on the performance. And Madison is back in the squad. He's returned from his injury, so you can definitely keep him because their fixtures are very good after. after this game week because they're facing Brighton now. Brighton is a tricky fixture for them, but after this game week, I think their fixture is turning for the better. So you can definitely keep him. He can be a very good differential because whenever Leicester scores, he is almost always involved. So also he has been playing. He will play for his squad. His place in the England squad in the World Cup. So he will pull up. He will try to impress the England coach, and also so that also a big plus for you as a Madison owner. And also, I would like to add two midfielders' names. When as we have discussed Rodrigo replacements, just two names which came to my mind right now. Alan Saint Maximin is one. I think he is injured at the moment, but if he is back fit before this game, he can be a very good option because Newcastle have some good fixtures coming up. So he can be a very good option. And then there is another one you can easily switch to one of the Leeds attacker because Leeds have been playing really well attacking wise. So Sinistera can be a very good option. He has been bedded in gradually, but I think he is now a part of the first 11. So ASM and Sinistera are also two names I would like to throw in for Rodrigo replacement.
Right. Thanks, Saif, for that. So let's go to the next question, which is come from Imamul Muntasir Bhai. Tony, hold or sell? Ashfaq?
I think Tony is a hold for me because Tony is a bit of a talisman for Brentford. Tony is also on set pieces, and I think his XGI over the last 4 game weeks is still very high. I think he was unlucky not to get an assist last game week. So if you look at the zonal weakness as well, from the Leeds side, Tony has from the center. Leeds has already considered 13 chances, so there's a very good chance Tony might do some damage against Leeds. They One thing to note that Tony still has great fixtures up until game week 11, I think. So because of his surety of starts, him being on set pieces, good fixtures, I don't think Tony is a transfer out at, at this moment. So for me, Tony is a hold.
Right. Okay. Next one again from Imamul Muntasir Bhai. Haaland cap again. Saif?
I think I'm personally going for Haaland again, so I would definitely suggest you to do the same because I think he will play at least 50 to 60 minutes because he has been brought off around the 60 70 minutes in the last 2 games. So I think fitness is not that much concern for him. So he is still pretty fresh. Also, Pep mentioned that he is only 22, so playing every 3 days is not a problem. But we know Pep, he talks whatever he says whatever he wants and does the opposite. But even then, I think Haaland will start, so you can definitely cap him again.
Right. Okay. So next question comes to you, Ashfaq. Sarah Alama Sabit Bhai is asking, Loris, Diaz, Cancelo, Trippier, James, Ward, Kulusevski, Saka, Gundu, Vardy, Jesus, bench, Rodrigo, Mendy, White, Mitrovic. Should I play wildcard? Whom should I change? I think this is the same question.
Right. So I think
No,
he
wait,
did good on the on.
Hold on a second. I think this was the same question last time we got. Just let me see.
So the same question from Shahnaz.
Okay.
Parveen.
Right. Okay. Go on. Please answer.
Same team.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think he did good on his defensive selections. I think defensive selections are pretty solid, but I think he's struggling in the squad. There is a bit of a struggle regarding the midfield part and the attacking part as well. Um, I don't know why he's benching Mitrovic because Mitrovic, what you have seen, is fixture proof. He has taken two premium goalkeepers in Loris and Mendy. He does not have Haaland, which means he's already behind in his mini league. Vardy and Gundogan are differential picks, and I don't think he has done well with Saka as well. Um, Saralam Sabit Bhai, with this squad, I think you can play a wild card if you want because I can see around 3 or 4 players that I would want to transfer out and get in other players because I think Haaland is a must-have right now because of his pedigree and because of his form. You don't have Haaland, you don't have Salah as well. So because of the large ownership, if you don't have them and they score big, you will be really lose ranks in your mini league, not to mention your overall rank. So you did good on the defense part. I think that will give you some points. But in the midfield and attack, I think Haaland and Salah, because of their high ownership, should be ones you target. And if you want to get them in, I think there is significant shuffling around, which would entail you to minus hits. So if I were you, I would probably play the wild card.
Right. Thanks, brother. Thanks. I think that answers the question. Yeah, I would play the wild card if this was it. This was my team. I think I don't see Haaland, I don't see Salah, and I see a lot of players who are not really performing, like Saka, Kulishevsky. Yeah, I would definitely go for wild card. Then comes question from Tawhidul Islam Hriday bhai. 7.1 million এর নিচে একজন মিড সাজেস্ট করেন যার কাছ থেকে ভালো রিটার্ন পাওয়ার পসিবিলিটি আছে, অথবা রড্রিগো আর গ্রসের এই দুইজনের বেস্ট রিপ্লেসমেন্ট কে হতে পারে? সরি, গ্রে, নট গ্রস। রড্রিগো আর গ্রের এই দুইজনের মধ্যে বেস্ট রিপ্লেসমেন্ট কে হতে পারে? ওভার টু ইউ, সাইফ।
So Jaha just rose to 7.2, so I think Jaha is out of his reach match-wise. So for me, the best midfield from below 7.1 is, as we have been mentioning the Rodrigo replacements. So there are the likes of Trossard or Gross from the Brighton midfield. Then Sinisterra from Leeds midfield is another one. Then Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest. They have some good fixtures to come. And I also suggested ASM. If he is back from his injury, he can be a very good option. Another player I have been keeping my eyes on is Barnes. I think he'll drop in price a bit, but he is back from his injury and Leicester have some good fixtures coming up. He also returned and scored in the last game, before the last game. So I think he can be a good differential option. And if you want to replace Rodrigo and Gray, for the Rodrigo options we have for Rodrigo, the options we have been discussing include Trossard or Gross, and then Sinisterra, ASM, and also Morgan Gibbs-White. So they are all viable replacements for Rodrigo. And if you want to transfer out Gray, then I think Morgan Gibbs-White is the same price, has that same price point, so he can be a good option. But you can still keep Gray because his expected goals is also pretty decent. So even though they are playing Liverpool has not been defensively tight so far this season. So Everton might score, and whenever Everton will score, I think one of Gray or Gordon will be involved. So you can keep Gray and then look to sell Rodrigo first. Or if you want to sell both, then I think Morgan Gibbs-White can be a good option. So combination of Morgan Gibbs-White and Gross and Trossard are your best bet.
Thanks. Next question. Then Imamul Muntasir bhai, thoughts on Isaac? Ashfaq?
So in this spot previously, we've already mentioned Isaac's pedigree. I think he has hit the ground running in the Newcastle side. Initially, we were a bit concerned on whether he will be a rotation risk with Wilson being on form as well. But what you've seen is Wilson is injured again, and with Isaac's current form, he already had one very well taken goal against a strong Liverpool side, and I think he had another goal ruled out as well. So I think because of Newcastle's upcoming fixture turn, he will be a great asset to own. He will be a great differential as well. At 7 million, I think he can be a great differential. What you have know about Isaac, that he's a very intelligent striker, so he will get into the spaces, create spaces, he will hold up play. So even when he's not scoring, I think he will give the odd assists to give his FPL owners a bit of points as well. So I think Isaac going forward can be a sure pick. If you're going for the third striker formation, I think the choice should be between Mitrovic and Isaac, because I think both can be very good picks. Obviously, Mitrovic will be the more popular pick, but Isaac can be a sure pick, I think.
Yeah, I think those are the two options beside Haaland and Jesus, of course. So I think moving to third striker is a good option now, or a good strategy. Yeah. Fully agree. Okay, Todil Islam Hizabhai is asking Bernardo or Perisic a rotation risk কেমন?
না কি বললেন? পেরিসিচকে আপনি কি বললেন?
I for
আমি
some
আমি আমি রিপ্লে করব এটা। আপনি
okay,
রিপিট করেন। না আপনি রিপিট করেন, এটা জনগণ আরেকবার শুনতে চায়। না
I said Perisic.
পরিচিত
পুরোহিত না পুরিসিচ
না
কি বললেন আপনি?
না I said Bernardo or পরিচিত. I said
পরিচিত।
পরিচিত. That's what I said. Yeah, Bernardo or পরিচিত, and I was like, what পরিচিত? What? Then I was like, oh, Perisic.
Our international guests will be flabbergasted.
Yeah, he would. I mean, my Bangla is bad. Sorry. Yeah, my Bangla is bad. I'm very sorry for that, and I apologize. Yeah, right. Yeah, but at least if it was mentioned, yeah. Sometimes reading English names in Bangla can be difficult. At least for me, it's very difficult. Right. Okay. Then Anupam. Sorry, we didn't answer that question. Where are we going? Right. So Tadul Islami Hriday Bhai is asking Bernardo or Perisic rotation risk কেমন? Go on, Saif.
I think you answered your own question, because if there were not rotation concerns, you would not have wondered this question. So I think both of them are very high rotation risks, and also the UCL is coming, and I think UCL will be preferred if there are weaker league fixtures like Tottenham have against Fulham. So I think Perisic will definitely be benched in that game, and also Bernardo, he can play across the forward line, also in the midfield. So I think he will be rotated, but we don't know whether he will play. He will be rotated in the league or in the UCL. So I would not want to keep that headache or get that headache. So I think for at least till the World Cup break, their rotation risk is very high.
Right. Okay. Then I lost my comments. Just 1 second. Sorry, I lost the comments. Yeah, here it is. Right. Anupam Dajnath Bhai is asking, what about Nunes and Isaac? Tony to Nunes. Isaac Korbo naki hold Korbo. Trippier, Walker, TA, James, Neko Williams. Select 4 from them to whom to play. Right. Over to you, Ashfaq.
So I'll start with your first question. Nunez, I think, is a rotation risk because of Firmino's excellent form. I think the center forward position where both Nunez and Firmino occupies is Firmino's to lose. So I don't think Nunez is an automatic first choice.
Also, Jota is back.
Also, Jota is back. So there will be probably significant rotation in the front three moving forward. So Nunez, I think, should not be in your priority transfer list right now. Isaac, on the other hand, going forward can be a bit of a shrewd pick, but if you are going for the third striker option, like I said in previously, that probably your choice would be between Mitrovic and Isaac. Mitrovic would obviously be the more popular pick, but Isaac can be a shrewd move as well. So between them, I think you should take your pick. But definitely, Isaac it would be a good move in our radar. Tony to Nunes, between Tony to Nunes or Isaac, if I were you, I would rather hold Tony because the fixtures are still good. I think he was unlucky not to have an assist in the last game, but his XGI for Brentford is still high. He is a bit of a talisman for Brentford. He's also on penalties, so I think it's just a matter of time before Tony gives you a good point haul moving forward. Your last question: Trippier, Walker, Trent, James, Neko. If I had the option, I would play all five, but since you wanted four of them, between them, I would rather probably bench Walker because Trippier, Trent, James, and Neko all of them has very good attacking pedigree. Neko Williams, being a 4 million midfielder, you can see from the zonal weakness part that they are playing Bournemouth, where Bournemouth is the worst rank in terms of chances considered from their left-hand flank, where Neko Williams will be attacking from. So Walker in this season, I think, has more of clean sheet potential rather than attacking potential. But the other defenders which you have, Trippier, Trent, James, and Neko, will all have great attacking potential in this game week. So probably between them, if you had to play only four, I would bench Walker.
Right. Thanks, Ashfaq. Thanks. Then Emmanuel Montasir Bhai is asking, Gross or Trossard? Saif.
Ross has started the season really well, and also he's cheaper than Trossard. But if you have the fund, I would definitely go for Trossard going forward because thing was Trossard was initially playing as the left wing back, so now Estopinian is here, and Trossard has been moved upfield. He's playing it almost as the central striker now in this Brighton team. So I think his goals and points will come. So if you have the budget, then definitely I would go for Trossard. But if you don't have the budget, Ross is also a very decent option. His expected goals is only behind Sterling and Salah amongst the midfield options. So he's still a very good option. But I think Trossard will definitely overtake him in points in the coming game weeks. So if you have the fund, go for Trossard. But if you don't, then Ross is also a decent shout.
All right, guys. I'll just bring up the next question, and then I just have to go for 2 minutes away. But we'll try to bring the questions anyway, and please continue the answering while I'm back. Yeah, just for 2 minutes. Yeah. All right. So the next comment is, of course, from Haminu Nahin, who says, "Got my questions clearly answered in your content, even without asking." Fire. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And then Tawdir Islam Hidayah Bhai is saying, "Alvarez ki rakbo naki out kore dibo." Over to you, Ashfaq. And after that, the next question will come in anyway, and then Saif can take it over. And I think I should be back by then. Yeah. Thanks.
So first of all, I am very surprised that someone has Alvarez. So good luck to you on that. But I think Alvarez is still a high rotation risk. So if you have him, Alvarez costs what, 7 million, 7.5. Let me just check Alvarez's price. 1 second. So Alvarez is 6.2. So if Alvarez is your bench option, if you do have Alvarez, I think you should have a really strong bench because there is the odd chance that Alvarez will be benched more than often. So he could be a bit of a differential pick, but I would not go down that road because he's such a high rotation risk. But if you already have Alvarez and you are not planning on doing the wild card soon, I suggest that you have a very good bench to back him up. Otherwise, there are good options in that price bracket, such as Tony at 7.2 or Mitrovic at 6.8, and Isaac at 7 can be good as well. So Alvarez, you should have a good bench. If you don't have a good bench, I think there are better options at that price bracket.
The question is, should I pick Son for this game week only, or should I go for KDB? So, even if for one game week, even though they are playing Fulham, I would definitely not look to go for Son because I think he's having some confidence issues. He has started the season terribly, so his place in the Spurs side is in question, in my opinion. Richardson is waiting in the wings, so I definitely not punt on Son, even if for only one game week. So KDB is, I think, is the better option because he only recently had his rest in the midweek. So I think he has a pretty good chance of starting this game week. So, and Aston Villa has been in terrible form. So City will, I think, definitely will score 4 to 5 goals, and KDB will definitely be involved if he starts. So between Son and KDB, I definitely go for KDB for this game week.
Right. All right, I'm back. So thanks for taking it over.
এবং সাথে সাথে আমাদের ভিউজও বেড়ে গেছে একটু।
Yeah. Okay. I thought when I was not there was increased views, so I was like, okay, ভালো হইছে ভাই, at least এটার কারণে আমি এখন পরে আসবো না. You guys can carry on. Okay. No, anyway, তৌহিদুল ইসলাম হৃদয়, হালান্ড টু নুনেস কেমন হবে? Ashfaq.
So I will answer this in 4 words. Do not do it. So Nunes is a big rotation risk, and with Haaland scoring back-to-back hat tricks. So নিজের পায়ে নিজের কুড়াল দেওয়ার আসলে ইংলিশটা কি আমি ঠিক জানি না। তো নিজের পায়ে নিজের কুড়ালি ইংলিশটা আমি এখানে বলতাম। So either way, Told Islam Rizafai, do not do it. Haaland, with his form, I don't think you can afford to drop him. Do not do it.
You remember the days when Aguero scored hat tricks and we all had Aguero as captain. Someone tweeted this week that captaining Haaland is like captaining Aguero on steroids. So even if you
Yeah,
don't captain Haaland, is a big risk, and you are thinking of transferring out Haaland.
yeah, ভাই এই আইডিয়াটা আপনার মাথা থেকে মানে যতটুক আসে ততটুক যদি মাইক্রোস্কোপও লাগে তারপরে মাইক্রোস্কোপ দিয়ে আপনি ওটাকে যদি খুঁজে বের করতে পারেন তাও খুঁজে বের করেন, বাট মেইন কথা হচ্ছে যে যেটাই করা লাগে না কেন, টেক ইট আউট, জাস্ট টেক ইট আউট ব্রাদার। ইটস আ big no Haaland to Nunes. Don't transfer out Haaland, don't transfer out Mo Salah. These are my requests to you. If you want to really play sensible FPL, don't transfer these two players for this season, at least for now.
ফোনটা রেখে দিয়ে ঘুম দেন, সকালে উঠে দেখবেন মাথা ক্লিয়ার রাখছে।
Exactly. I mean, this is complete overthinking. এটা হলো ওই যে লাইক আমাকে কিছু করতে হবে এখন, একটা রিস্ক নিব আর কি, আরে হালান্ড কি হিসেবে বের করে দিব। No, that's not how you play the game, brother. Don't, please don't. That's a request. Okay, but yeah, okay. And then next one, will Tanvi Tanna is asking, will Darwin start? Who answered the last question? Sorry, Saif, over to you for this one.
I don't think Darwin will start in this game week. The reason being is that he had a red card in the last game. He was out for 3 game weeks, and Firmino has been playing well. So the next game is the Merseyside derby. It's always a heated contest, and also Everton will look to target him and we look to provoke him into doing something like that again. So I definitely think Klopp will try to protect him. So he'll keep him in the bench. Then if the situation arises, then he will throw him in. But I definitely think Firmino will start and Darwin will be in the bench.
All right, next one. Then Mohammad Alamin Chaudhary bhai is asking, Mahrez and Rodrigo ke change kore kake newa jay? Salah, Martinelli and Andres ache, forward Jesus and Haaland, and a 4.5 pointer. Next week Nunes ke niye newar ichha ache. Any suggestion, please? Ashfaq.
Regarding Mahrez, at that price point, Zaha, because of his form, can be a good option, and I like Gundogan as well because he's a bit of a differential player and in the City side right now. So that is something you can consider. On Rodrigo, Brighton for midfields in Gross and Trossard are very good shouts. Gross, I think, has very similar stats to Rodrigo up until last game week, so he's partially on set pieces as well. So that is something that he has an advantage of. Trossard, since Estupinian has come in, has looked very lively, is getting into more forward positions, so he can be a great shout as well. And if you want to do the parallel movement, then like Saibai mentioned, Sinister can be a bit of a differential shout. Harrison as well, and like Nadim Bhai and I have mentioned a bit earlier, Gibbs White at his price point of 5.5 is one to watch, because essentially as a 5.5 midfielder, he plays as the second forward in the Nottingham Forest team, so he will have good chances to give you some good points. So those are the options that you should really consider right now. On your last question regarding Nunez, like Saib Bhai mentioned, with Jota coming in and Firmino's form, I don't think Nunez is a sure starter at the moment. I think Liverpool forward 3, except for Salah, will be heavily rotated moving forward. So Nunez should not be a priority transfer for you right now.
Right, guys, we have still lots of questions to answer, and we shouldn't be crossing the 2 hours mark. People are still watching. Thanks everyone for doing that. But yeah, let's not keep people waiting for too long. Yeah, so let's try to answer a little bit faster. We have so many questions still left. Right, so far Anupam Devnath is inviting his friend. Thank you so much, brother, for that. And Tawzir Islam Hijabai is saying Amar Gross or Martinelli ache, Rodrigo or Gray replacement eder chhara ke best hote pare. I think we answered that already.
দেন তহিদুল ইসলাম হৃদয় ভাই সিং আপনাদের সবার মতামতের ভিত্তিতে গেম উইক 6 এর বেস্ট টিম কেমন হতে পারে, রাইট? We have a team of the week, so I can just say that team of the week loudly, clearly. Just give me a second. Let's go to the next question, and then I will come back to this question and answer him. Yeah, and then you guys can just chip in with one or two players. Yeah, okay. Hamim Noor is saying if wildcard, then Henderson plus Estupiñán or Sanchez or Dallo, I will definitely have a Brighton defense cover. Saif, can you answer that?
Saif bhai, I think left for some time. I'll take the question.
Okay, please do.
So between them, I like Henderson and Estupiñán because Estupiñán, I think, has a very good attacking potential, and Henderson will definitely give you the save points to cover much of the clean sheet. And if Nottingham Forest does keep a clean sheet, I think Henderson will among the save points. Sanchez is a very good shout as well, but Dalot has been playing good, but I'm not really convinced on United's fixtures because the fixtures coming up are still tricky. They play Arsenal next. So after that, I think they still have one or two tricky fixtures. So although United are playing good, I don't trust the fixtures. So I believe out of them, Henderson, Estupiñán would the one I would go for.
Right. Thanks. So coming back to the previous question, Tohiduল Islam Hridaya is asking আপনাদের সবার মতামতের ভিত্তিতে গেমিং সিস্টেম বেস্ট টিম কেমন হওয়া উচিত। সো দিস ইজ বেসড অন জোনাল ম্যাট্রিক্স অফকোর্স, যেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে আর কি। সেখান থেকে যদি আমরা দেখি যে বেস্ট টিম, সো স্ট্রাইকারে আছে দুইজন, হাল্যান্ড অ্যান্ড আইজাক, অ্যান্ড সেটা আমরা র্যাঙ্কিং দেখলেই বুঝতে পারতেছি আর কি ক্লিয়ারলি, ঠিক আছে। সরি, হোয়াট হ্যাপেন টু দিস ওয়ান, জাস্ট এ সেকেন্ড, সরি, কেন জানি চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেল। Yeah, there it is. Right. Okay. So that will be Haaland and Isaac, of course, and that's that. And then from the midfield, we would go with Foden, Gundogan, Salah, Diaz, and Mason Mount. That would be the best team. This is for only one game week, by the way. Tohiduল Islam Hridaya bhai, কারণ গেম উইক 6 এর জন্যই শুধু এই টিমটা, এছাড়া আসলে অন্য গেম উইকের জন্য আমরা এটাকে সাজেস্ট করব না। So that's that 5, and then Robertson, Neco Williams, and Trippier. These are the 3 backline that you should have. So yeah, that's that. Okay. So next one is from Fine Islam. Mitro to Nunes -4. Ashfaq?
I would not do it because, like we said, that with Jota coming in and I think moving forward, Liverpool front three will have lots of rotation up front. Mitro is currently, what we have seen is fixture proof. He's scoring the goals, even tough oppositions as well. And against Spurs as well, we fully expect him to score. And Nunez, because he plays center forward and Firmino's form, I don't think Nunez is a sure starter at the moment. So if I were you, I would not do it. Definitely not.
Right. Okay. So next question then. Captain pick Salah or Haaland? Saif, over to you.
For me, Haaland is the standout shout again this game week because, as I mentioned, I think he will start and he will get around 50 minutes, and that's we have seen that 50 minutes is enough for Haaland to score a hat trick. So, on the form he is in, and also the lack of goals from Salah, I think Haaland is the standout shout in this game week.
It's a tricky shout, by the way. It's a very tricky shout.
Yeah, because the X minutes is a constant. We don't know if he will start or not, but I think he will start. So for me, he is the best captain.
Right. I would go with Salah just to be safe, and I think one of the reasons why I would go with Salah is Rojan bhai. কারণ হলো যে গত ম্যাচে সালার 2টা অ্যাসিস্ট আছে, so he is not scoring. That's one. Second thing is he knows যে Haaland already scored quite a number of goals, so তার গোল্ডেন বুটের চ্যালেঞ্জ কিন্তু এখন থেকে যদি না শুরু হয়, he won't be able to make it up at the end of the season. That's another point. Third thing হলো সবচেয়ে বড়, যেটা সাধারণত আমরা এপিএল এ কখনো এটা কোনোভাবে মেজার করতে পারি না, বাট এটা খুবই একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট ফ্যাক্টর।
আলটিমেটলি যেই সব প্লেয়ারকে আমরা এপিএলে নেই এরা কিন্তু সবাই রিয়েল লাইফ প্লেয়ার, হ্যাঁ, এরা কিন্তু অরিজিনালি ফুটবলটা খেলে। সো ফর দেম মোটিভেশন ইজ আ বিগ ফ্যাক্টর, যে মোটিভেশনটাকে আমরা কখনো স্ট্যাটস বা কোনো কিছুর মাধ্যমে দেখাই না। And I think the Liverpool getting that win at the very last moment, last match, and where Salah was kind of part of the assist, I think that has generated plus 9-0 যেটা জিতছে আর কি। I think this has created enough momentum for Liverpool now to actually be confident again and play the match in a way they play best. And because this is the local derby against Everton, I think this is where Salah would actually do quite well. Now, if you look at it Everton's wise, to be honest, আমি যদি এখানে এভারটনকে দেখি, আমি এভারটনকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না for some reason. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, second one. So you can see the zonal weaknesses যেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে আর কি। এভারটন ওই দিক থেকে সালার দিক থেকে 15টা চান্সেস কনসিড করছে এবং এভারটন ওখানে র্যাঙ্কিং কিন্তু 6 নম্বরে, মানে খারাপের দিক থেকে 6 নম্বরে তারা আছে। So I think that is where Salah is going to play. So definitely it's a very good option. And I think Salah has the momentum right now, and I think Liverpool has the momentum right now. So yeah, I would go with Salah rather than with Haaland, just because of the X minutes. But yeah, কোনোভাবে যদি নিউজ পাওয়া যায়, Haaland is a good shout. I'm not saying Haaland is a bad shout. Just minutes এর জন্য অথবা if you want to play safe, then go with Haaland. Yeah. Right. Okay. So then he says, SRK Rosenbay says bench one, Nuri versus Southampton, Nico versus Bournemouth. Saif, I'll come to you because Ashfaq took 2 questions.
Yeah, no problem. I have been banging on about Neko throughout this pod, so definitely I would bench Nuri. Also, Nuri has become a rotation risk. I don't think he started the last game week because Semedo is here and Johnny is playing left back. It's a no-brainer for me. Play Neko and bench Nuri.
Right. Okay. Then Hamim Nur Nain is saying Isaac or Tony? Ashfaq?
That's a bit of a tricky question. Isaac, I think, will do good, but Tony has the fixtures to do some damage as well. So between them, it's a pretty direct replacement if you want to change them either way. If I were you, I would keep Tony and keep an eye on Isaac. If I see that he's keeping his form or he's doing good or he's looking more menacing, then it's a direct switch from Tony to Isaac because of their similar price point. But if moving forward, I would probably start with Tony.
Okay, somebody from the community is asking this question to you, Ashfaq. Question to Ashfaq, of course. Thoughts about Carvalho?
So first of all, I'm a bit confused that why is someone asking me about a Liverpool midfielder to an United fan?
I have
Get an unbiased opinion.
I have an answer for that, Ashfaq. He's your fan.
Right.
Fan. That's as simple
Right.
as that, Ashfaq. He doesn't
Right.
care whether you support
I think
United
he
or
wants
Liverpool. He just
an unbiased
wants some
opinion.
ideas. So
Right.
go on.
Mr. Facebook user, regarding Carvalho, although he has very good potential, is one for the future, I think he's a bit of a 80 minutes, 80 plus minutes coming on as a substitute kind of guy. He will do some damage, or he will, run the clock because of his huge talent moving in the future. But in the position he plays in the front three, or in the wings or forward, etc., there are so many competitions in the Liverpool team right now with Jota coming in, Salah, Diaz, Nunez, and Firmino. I don't think you can consider him to be a good FPL asset anyway. And if you do have him, I think he's a bit of a waste of a Liverpool. It's a bit of a waste of a Liverpool position in your team, because that position could be spent elsewhere in a double Liverpool attack or a double Liverpool defense in the near future. So Carvalho, although his point potential is good, as a football player he might be very good, but not really an FPL asset.
Thanks, Ashfaq. So Tarafdar by Rohan Bhai is asking, Gundogan out করতে চাচ্ছি, কাকে নিলে ভালো হবে, আর Rodrigo to whom? Saif.
If you want to transfer out Gundogan, I think Zaha is the standout shout. you don't have Zaha. I don't think you have Zaha, so I would definitely look to bring in Zaha if you want to transfer out Gundogan. And for Rodrigo, I think we have mentioned several times already. There are lots of options and lots of ways to go about it. So you can bring in one of Gross and Trossard, or if you want to feel a bit punty, you can bring in you can bring in Sinistera. And if ASM is fit, I think you can be a very good option in the coming game weeks. Or you can also downgrade Rodrigo and then bring in a third striker if you have only two at the moment. So there are lots of ways to go about. But for Gundogan, I think Zaha is the standout shout. Then Rodrigo, you can pick whichever way suits your team best.
Right.
So,
Thanks.
so I have a question to Saif Bhai. If you had Gundogan, would you transfer him out?
Yeah, I think I would. If I had two FTs, not a single FT. Because he played the last 90 minutes, so I think he might be rotated again. And also Bernardo Silva is very much back in the side, so I think he takes one of the midfield slots for quite a few of the league games coming up. So Gundogan is too much of a rotation headache to keep, and also he did not have a single contribution from 6 goals. So also people have been noticing that Man City tweaked
Yeah,
their
because
system.
he had to track back. I think
Yeah,
Gundogan
because
plays a
KDB
bit.
was not there.
Yes, that is why KDB was not playing.
So
Right, guys. Let's
bit
proceed
of
then.
a headache. So I don't want to keep that much headache.
Right.
Right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I think that's an important conversation. So yeah, let's proceed. Atif Shamsher Bhai is asking, did James to Estupian last week? Well done. Congratulations. You got Estupian points. Should I reverse it this week? Ashfaq, you are an Estupian owner.
So before I answer this question, let me do a brief introduction about Atif Shamsher Bhai. So Atif Shamsher Bhai is a colleague of both Saif Bhai and me. And regarding our office mini league, he's currently leading the league. And last week we were one of the only 2 people who brought in Estupinian. So in the group we have a little bit chat box. So he was cheering for Estupinian, then saw that someone else
He
also
is
brought
also
in
a Leeds fan.
Estupinian. So like he's also a Leeds fan, by the way. James to Estepinian, because he's leading the league, I would obviously ideally want to give him some bad advice here, but because this is live television, I cannot. So James to Estepinian, well, because Estepinian gave some good points this week, he has a great potential. I would not transfer him out just yet, because I know your team so well. I think you would do better if you could transfer out Perisic and bring in James instead. You have 2 million extra, so I think you can do it. So if you want to bring in James, I think you should move out Perisic.
Saif.
Looks to be a Segura.
Yeah, I am worried now, Saif. I'm really worried. I mean, স্টকিং এর একটা লেভেল থাকে, ঠিক আছে? মানুষের স্টকিং করার একটা লেভেল থাকে, ঠিক আছে? I swear on God, I was like, because you have this and my goodness, are you talking about your own bloody team? I don't even know how much money I have in the bank. My own team.
আপনার টিমের
You
15
know
জন
how-
আপনার আগে আশফাক ভাই বলতে পারবে, আমি 100% শিওর।
Exactly, it seems like, my goodness me, Ashfaq. Well done, buddy. Stocking
No,
goes
because I'll give a background. Because I was going through the questions and I saw this question and I had a feeling that this question would come to me. So I had my answer ready beforehand. So I had to go and see his team and see
Yeah,
how much
stockist team.
money he had in the bank,
Yeah,
etc.
what is a stockist team? Stockist team. Yeah, good one. Hmm. Okay, there it is. Sankalp is answered. Estupinian injury news is awaited, by the way. He did come off with an injury scare. Just that, guys, everybody knows. Sankalp
Yeah,
joined us and
uh,
is still watching us. So thanks so much, Sankalp. Thank you, brother.
right. Atif Shamsher Bhai gave a comment as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Okay, but yeah, I mean, Ashfaq. Seriously.
Atif Shamsher Bhai gave a comment as well right now, I think.
He did. I don't know. I can't see it right now. And I think my Sankalp has taken the remark quite strongly here. Nothing but learn from Ashfaq. Okay, I need to learn because I don't stock others' teams. I really don't care about who's doing what. I really don't check others' teams at all. I just do I play my own game, and I think it
I
gives me
think
a
that's
peace.
the best way to play the game.
Yeah,
Don't
it
bother
gives
about
me
the
a
other.
peace of mind. To be honest, it gives me a lot of
You know,
peace.
from last season, I have started a new strategy. I don't look.
I'm not watching your rank
I
and
don't check
everything. Yeah,
any of the
points.
leagues. I don't know what my position is. I only check my overall rank, and that's that. I play my own game.
That's it. I think it's very good for mental health. Appeal can be very
Yeah.
frustrating at the same time. By the way, those people who are watching right now, if you're having issues with FPL and if you feel you are frustrated, do feel free to have a knock us on our messenger, Facebook Messenger, and we're happy to talk to you, of course, and just to make you feel better. Yeah, because I mean, it can be very frustrating at times. Yeah, so just that right. Thanks, Alkalf. Thanks so much, and thanks for the update as well. And good to see that you're watching us live since then. So it's great. Yeah. So okay, next question then. Al Muzaid Bhai is asking Sanchez, Cancelo, Perisic, James, Salah, Diaz, Gundo, Harrison, Martinelli, Jesus, Tony, bench, Nico Williams, Zinchenko, Stansfield. Already changed TA to Nico Williams for money. TA to Nico Williams. Okay. How could I bring Haaland in my team? Saif, you have to solve this puzzle for us. I don't think so. I have the brain to understand that.
It's a really big dilemma. I don't think you can bring in Haaland without at least three transfers, unless you want to transfer out Jesus. So I think if you want to bring in Haaland, you can definitely look to play your wild card, as you have already changed TA. I would not have done that, but I don't see any straight card option to bring in Haaland because you don't have. If you had Kane or if you had KDB alongside Salah, then it could have been done in two moves. But I think you need to transfer out
He'll have to
Tony.
downgrade Diaz and Gundogan
Yeah, you
as
have to.
well as
I
as
think
well as
here I think
Tony.
he has 3.5 in the bank, so 4.5 product, 3.5 at I think it's 8. So he needs 3 million more. So he will definitely have to downgrade Gundogan. I think if he can download Gundogan to a 4.5, then he can bring in Haaland for Stansfield. I think if my math is correct, if you downgrade Gundogan to a 4.5 midfield or even Pereira, because he's a very good bench cover. So I think you can do Stansfield to Haaland, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, thanks. And I think in my reaction to Ashfaq's talking, Atif Shamses Bhai, there it is. He's really funny. Thanks, but and then when I said I don't even know my own team as to how much money I have sometimes in my bank, here is some kind of giving me a good advice. At least know how much money is there in your bank. Yeah, that's true. That is something I should know, to be honest. But sometimes I just like to keep forgetting because the moment I see money in my bank, I have this funny itch, and because I often take minus hits, I have this funny itch of like, okay, taka ase ekhon, I have money, so why not just spend it? Well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to get interest anyway. So that's another reason as to why I kind of sometimes don't try to do
I
that.
think
So
Sankalp is also indicating to your real bank balance here.
well,
So
my
check
real
in both
bank balance
ways.
I do know. My real bank balance I do know, but when it comes to FPL, it's virtual money. So I always feel like, what are you going to do with this money anyway? No use saving it, spend it. So that itches me, and then I kind of take transfers. So that's the reason. Sometimes I do try to keep it forget. It's just an individual way of playing it. Yeah, but thanks, brother. Thanks for that. Right. Taradar Rohan is asking, Mitrovic, Tony, Jesus আছে, আইজাক আনতে চাচ্ছি, কাকে আউট করে কাকে নিব, স্টার্লিং কি হোল্ড করব? আশফাক.
Okay. Between them, if you do really want to bring in Isaac, I think you should bring him in for Tony because Mitrovic, what you've seen is fixture proof, and because of Jesus' high ownership, I don't think you can afford to transfer him out. But regarding your striker situation, we would still stress that Haaland is should be a bit of a priority in your team. Um, Sterling, in your last question, Sterling, I think Sterling is still a great differential shout. You should hold Sterling.
Right. Thanks. And Aminul Islam Bhai is asking, Tony, keep or sell? Saif?
I think Tony still has some good fixtures, even though he blanked in the last two game weeks. I think goals will come. So he's a keep for me. And also, in the rotation heavy period we are facing now, you can definitely you should definitely keep someone who is assured of 90 minutes every game week, and also he is the talisman of the team. So whenever they play well, eh, his goals will come. So I think you can still persist with him for at least 2 to 3 game weeks. Then if it doesn't work out, then you can transfer him out for likes of Isaac or Mitrovic.
Right. Thanks. And then Wazid Ahmed Raziva is asking, Rodrigo to whom? Harrison, Aronson, Zaha, Bernardo, Madison, or anyone else? Ashfaq?
So I think we already covered this in detail. Rodrigo to Brighton midfield should be the straightest transfer you could make. Gross has had similar statistics up until last game week to Rodrigo, so he's also partially on set pieces, so that's an advantage for him. Trossard can be a great pick as well because since Estopinian has come in, Trossard has had much more freedom to move forward and attack more. Other than that, Zaha is good. Also, Harrison and Aronson. Aronson, I think, has settled in the Leeds team very well. He also plays very good pressing football, so he's a good punt. He's also lowly owned as well. Bernardo, well, we still think Bernardo is a bit of a rotation risk, so you could probably do better than Bernardo. Madison himself is a good pick, but Leicester's form is something of a concern of ours. So he's also come back from a slight injury from last game. So I think you should wait to see if Leicester's form increases a bit before investing in Madison. So Rodrigo to either the Leeds midfielders of Harrison or Aronson. Um, Then the Brighton midfields of Trossard and Gross or Zaha. I think these five is your best punts. Other than that, there's a differential pick of Gibson White because Nottingham fixtures is very good. And essentially, he plays as the second striker in a 3-5-3-2 formation for Nottingham. So at 5.5, he's someone to watch as well. So these are the ones that we recommend to keep an eye on.
Right. Okay. The next one, Ibrahim Rian says, great discussion. Thank you so much, brother. And then SRK Rosen says, আমার সালাহ হালান কেন তিনজনই আছে, and then তাহলে কাকে ক্যাপ্টেন দেওয়া যায় বলে মনে করেন? সাইফ?
Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I would definitely captain Haaland. For me, Haaland is the captaincy pick this game week. So even if you have 3 of them, I would definitely captain Haaland.
Right. Okay. Then Apurva Chaudhary is asking whom to cap, Salah and Haaland again. What do you call it? Ashfaq, quickly answer that because we have discussed a lot about Salah.
So I'm now called, what do you call it, Ashfaq?
No, what do you
So,
call it?
We can see you.
Yeah, we can't see you, Ashfaq.
Anyway, between them, Salah or Haaland, I think there's still the jury out whether Haaland starts or not. We believe he will start, but I think he has a lesser probability of starting against Villa than he had a probability of starting against Nottingham Forest because of their midweek European fixture. We believe Haaland will start, but probably won't play the 90 minutes and will probably hook around the 50 or 60-minute mark. So, Apurva Chaudhary bhai, if you get a indication that Haaland will start, probably it's best to captain Haaland because of his high point potential of his form. But if we have the doubts, I think it's safer to go for Salah because it's the Merseyside derby. The emotions are always up, and I think Salah has a decent record against Everton as well. So if you're gonna go safe, go for Salah. Otherwise, Haaland could be a bit of a risky punt, but you should look for news that whether she starts or not.
Saif, is that spinning of spoon is because of whether Salah or Haaland, or is it because of just fun?
Just fun.
Okay, good to know. I was looking at you kind of spinning the spoon, and I was like, okay, Salah, Haaland, Salah, Haaland. I don't know. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, there you go. Marif Muqtadir Khan is asking, so Tony to Isaac. My other two is Jesus and Haaland, but Tony has good fixtures too. Saif?
So I have the exact front three. So I also want to bring in Isaac, but I think as Tony has good fixtures, and we have been mentioning that he is due a goal because he has been playing well, but was unlucky to not to score. So I will persist with Tony. So I would suggest you do the same. Also, Isaac, I have seen that he has dead legs, so he might not start. But I think dead legs are not a bit of concern. He will start, but I think we can keep Tony for now because he has 2 3 game good fixtures. So then you can switch if he doesn't perform again, or at least give him 1 game week, at least 1 game week more. Because Leeds has been really open in the back, so Leeds and Brentford I think will be a good fixture, and there will be goals from both teams. So I think Tony will be involved.
Right. Okay. So this is an interesting question, and I want you guys to make it quick answer rather than going with thing. If you want to give a logic, just give it in one sentence. So I'll start first. Aminul Islam Bhai is asking, আপনাদের তিনজনের ক্যাপ্টেনকে গেম উইক 6 এ জানতে চাই। My one will be probably Salah, but I'm also doubtful about Salah because of the fact that he প্রথম গেম উইকে নাকি ওই যে প্রথম ম্যাচেই নাকি ক্যাপ্টেন্সি দেওয়া যায় না, ব্যাড লাক yeah, Mahatma Gandhi also. So that's the thing. So that's why I probably might shift to Haaland. But yeah, so far I'm more leaning towards Salah. Over. Saif, what about you?
সারা পটে সালা সালা করে এখন বলতেছেন হালান্ড।
No, it's the first match. No, I said might be.
I would definitely go for Haaland unless there is some late injury news or something like that, or definitely we know that he won't start. But for now, it's on Haaland.
Ashfaq?
My cap is currently Salah. Salah has a good record against Everton. If I get more concrete news that Haaland will start, it probably moves to Haaland. But I'll wait till the last minute. But currently, it's on
He
Salah.
will have Haaland by the time game week 4-6 starts.
Yeah, that's like at
Let's have a bet.
It's at 12 o'clock at night. I don't know how are you going to tinker the team, but anyway, good luck with that. Shian Naim is asking then best replacement of Rodrigo. Over to you, Saif. Pick one.
Okay, if you want for me to pick one, I would say Trossard. Or if you have some fund, I would say Zaha.
Okay, right. And then Shami Ahmed Bhai is asking between Duncan, Martinelli and Tony, who to bench as I have as first best sub. I will start the other two. Ashfaq.
I think between them, both Martinelli and Tony would have the higher point potential to give you points. I would probably bench Dunk. They have a relatively tricky fixture against Leicester, although I fully expect Brighton to keep a clean sheet. But I think Martinelli and Tony has the upper point potential of the three.
Right. Okay. The next one, Mahdi Ayyab Bhai is asking, want to take Sterling? What's your opinion, guys? Saif?
I personally would not take Sterling because Aubameyang is here, so I don't think he will play centrally for much longer. Even though he is now their main striker, he's currently playing as the main striker. Also, Chelsea has not been fluid attacking wise, and their performance have not been up to the mark. They played pretty poorly in the last game. I saw the game. So even though Sterling scored a goal, but I would not be confident to take Sterling. If you had him, I would say you hold him. But if you don't have him, I would not look to bring him in. And so another problem is his price point is pretty awkward. There is not much replacement either way for at the 10 million bracket. So if he would have I think he would have a detrimental impact on your the entire team, on your other 14 team. So 14 guys. So I personally would not do that. But if you want to, you can take a punt. But be aware that Aubameyang is here, and Aubameyang will more or less, I think he will be the central striker. Then Sterling might be shifted out wide or might play in the supporting role. So his goal scoring potential will also be downgraded.
Thanks, Saif, for that. Shenaim Bhai is asking Neko or Estupian whom to start. Ashfaq.
That's a tricky question. I have both. I will probably start both, but between them, if I had to start one, I would probably start Neko, because if you look at the zonal weakness stats, you'll see from the left-hand flank where Neko Williams will be starting, Bournemouth is ranked as the worst. So we fully expect Neko Williams to do some damage there. So I would probably between them, I would probably start Neko.
Right, thanks. Shan Ahmed Bhai is asking, after Pep's press conference, do you guys think Haaland will start against Villa at away? Saif.
So I think Haaland's starting potential or percentage is a bit increased after the Pep conference, where he said that he is only 32, so he can start every 3 games, every 3 days. But we know Pep, he says one thing, does the opposite. So it might even mean that he will just bench him for the sake of it. So we don't really know. So that doesn't really add to his percentage. But the main striking point for me is that he was benched. He was taken off in around the 60 minutes mark. So that makes me confident that he will start again and then be taken off around the 60 minutes mark again, and he will be ready for the UCL game that way.
I think that's exactly what I was thinking from my point of view, to be honest. That's how I read it. Okay, thanks, Saif. I think that's very clear. Other than Simon is asking, should I play Eze, who's playing Newcastle, over Dunk, or should I play Dunk, who's playing Leicester, over Eze this week? Ashfaq.
So I would particularly play Eze, because if you look at the zonal weakness on the crosses conceded against Newcastle in the row, you will find that Newcastle is currently ranked in the right-hand flank, where Eze will be attacking from, is currently ranked as the second worst. So Eze, based on the zonal weakness, you can particularly see his name there. I think might do some damage from the right-hand flank. So between them, I would probably play Eze.
Right. Okay, someone from the community then is asking, play to wildcard, one differential defender, mid and forward. One differential. Okay, can I answer this? I think I'll answer this. Okay, he wants one differential defender, mid and forward. So all differential, right? Is that what I understand? Okay. So differential defender would be Estupinian. That's one. 4.5 million. Midfielder differential is either you go for Trossard or you go for Morgan Gibbs White. That would be. And for forward, I would suggest you go for Isaac if you have the budget. If you don't have the budget, go for Mitrovic. Those are the differential defenders, midfielder, and forwards for you, brother. Thank you. Right, and then Saif, if you can answer this, Mohammad Anwar Isubai is asking, Patterson to Neko Ward or Da Silva to Iverson. I don't understand this question. Wait. Patterson to Neko, Ward or Da Silva to Iverson, or Longstaff for budget. 2.2 free transfers available. Yeah.
I think he's saying Ward to Iverson or Da Silva to Longstaff or Peterson to Neko.
Yeah.
So I think among the choices you have mentioned, Neko is the one I like most, because he is the one you can play whenever you need him. Like this game week, he is a very good shout for getting at least some points for you. So if you want to bring in one of the three, I would definitely look to bring in Neko for the before this game week. Because Longstaff and Iverson don't play much. Iverson won't definitely play, and Longstaff plays here and there, so you won't get much bench cover from them. So Peterson to Neko would be my pick.
Right. So this is the last comment, and after this, there is no more comment we're taking. And that is actually Ms. Babul Haqbhai saying, haha, sorry, brother. Mistakenly, I touched that. Give me a suggestion whom to replace for Rodrigo. Ashfaq. So that angry reaction that I saw when I asked Ms. Babul Bhai, if you have an anger, why are you angry? Let us know. So actually, he wanted to press ha, but Chaplak's actually angry there. So thank you, brother, for clarifying that. And then he's asking for a suggestion to replace Rodrigo. Ashfaq, last one, and that's it. We're done for the day today.
Right. So I think we have covered this in detail already. Rodrigo replacement is a hot topic this week. So I think the obvious choices are the Brighton midfield with Gross and Trossard. Trossard is a bit of a differential, and Gross is uh, much more owned. Gross has similar stats to Rodrigo up until last game week, so um, they are both good replacements for Rodrigo. Other than that, there's the other Leeds midfield options such as Harrison and Sinestera. I think they are great options as well. Saibhai already mentioned in detail about Sinestera how he can be a great option as well. Not to mention Aronson. Aronson, I think, has really settled well into the squad. So there's the Leeds option you can turn to. And for a bit more safer option, I think Zaha looks like a player in form. He's also on penalties, I think. So Zaha at that price point is a great shout. I think he's well recommended too. And like finally, as Nadim Bhai said, Gibson White is someone that you can have an eye on because he essentially plays as a second striker in the 5-3-2 formation of Nottingham, and because Nottingham is having a fixture shift, so Gibson White is someone to watch out for. So if I had to rank, I think the Brighton midfield would be my first options. Then probably Zaha. Then I could go for the alternate Leeds midfield options, and finally Gibbs White. So there you go.
Thanks. Thanks, guys. I think this is it. This is done for the day. It's been a pleasure to have you, of course, and it was a long show, 2 hours of 17 minutes. So, yeah, I understand this is the last day and tomorrow is the deadline. So, lots of questions came in and lots of big questions, of course. But, yeah, most important, thank you to all the audience for joining us and watching and then asking all the questions and sharing all the love that you do every week. We appreciate it. Do please note we have two big announcements coming. Next week there will be an international one, and of course there is another announcement that we will make it very soon. But until then, I hope we'll be back again for the prediction show tomorrow. But if you are not joining us on the prediction show, then good luck for that. But yeah, until then, take care. All the very best, and yeah, bye bye. Thank you so much, Saif and Ashfaq. It's been a pleasure again, as usual. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you for
everyone. Good
having
night.
us. Am I frozen again?
No, you're not. On
Um,
that note, let's finish.